It's Thursday night, and we've got college football for you right here on CBS Sports Network. In 60 minutes, it'll be Coastal Carolina and Jacksonville State. They kick at 8 p.m. Eastern, but first and foremost, it's inside college football.
Take a big deep breath, because you're going to enjoy the rest of the evening. Are you kidding me? Oh, mama! What a catch!
It's the first walk of the year as football is back in Jacksonville, Alabama, with the sun setting on a late summer evening. We welcome you to college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers taking on the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Both these programs have made the rise to the FBS level, have found success, and tonight begin their new path. Welcome in, everybody. Jordan Kent alongside the newest member of our CBS family, two-time Super Bowl champion, Logan Ryan. Logan, I know there's a lot of emotions going through your mind right now. We have a great matchup tonight. Your thoughts on this one?
Man, I am juiced. Football's in the air. Football is back. I'm ready to play. We got a great matchup here tonight. Two high-power offenses, lots of points being scored, a lot of expectations. Should be a great game.
Rich Rodriguez begins his third season as head coach of Jack State, as they like to call it, and he's really established a culture and has found success already as he begins this season.
He talks about having a hard edge. He wants his players playing fast. They practice extremely fast. He's one of the fastest-running offenses in the country. A snap every 20 seconds. These guys are moving. They're scoring points. That is the Rich Rod standard.
Who will pilot this high-octane offense? There were questions coming into camp. It's Logan Smothers that gets the call tonight.
Rich Rod's offense is a Lamborghini. It's a very fast car. And who are you going to put in to drive it? Someone that is safe, someone that is sound, someone that has experience. Logan Smothers is a returning starter. He's reliable. He knows the system. He had 13 touchdowns last year, 7 of them rushing, using his feet, and I like his first name.
For Coastal Carolina, Tim Beck begins his second year as head coach, and they have a bit of a rebuild on offense. They lost a lot of pieces, as does a lot of programs do this time of year. But at quarterback, the question would be, who do they go with? Ethan Vasco that helped them close the year out on a strong note.
Yes, Grayson McCall has gone to NC State, but they have Ethan Vasco, and they had him last year as well. He started 4 games for him last year, and he won the bowl game, the Hawaii Bowl. He not only won the game, he was the MVP of the game, so he played great. He's an athlete. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he can run.
What a sight to behold as college football officially kicks off in Jacksonville, Alabama. The Gamecocks will kick, back to receive for the Chanticleers as they pick it up at about their 10-yard line. And already busting it to the right. Excellent return so far, finally dragged down near the 44-yard line as Christian Washington gives the Chanticleers excellent field position, 35 yards on the return. And you talk about special teams and getting off to an excellent start to the season. That sets things up very nicely for Vasco, which that's got to be a relief for a quarterback stepping in to work with this type of field position.
Absolutely. The name of the game is field position. If you're having a quarterback who isn't too experienced, starting at the 40-yard line, 43 there is absolutely phenomenal. And Vasco, like I said, he played 8 games last year. We expected him to start. He's starting tonight. They're going to come with some tempo here. Spread it out. It's 2 spread offenses going at it. So we're excited to see how they come out and set up this game.
Javen Simpkins in the backfield, 2 receivers to the far side of the field, and we already have our first flag of the season, and every coach, Logan, across the country wants to avoid this penalty to start the year.
Coastal Carolina didn't want to tell us the quarterback, and they might have been too slow about it. They might have been too slow even putting him out on the field. First play of the game is a delay of game. This is early season football, people. There's no preseason going on in college. They're trying to get the jitters out.
So a 5-yard penalty for Coastal Carolina before their very first snap of the year. They'll hand it off. It is Simpkins that gets stuffed, and that's the defensive front for Jacksonville State. That was one of the best running defenses in the nation. Let's check out this Chanticleer offense. And how about Braden Bennett? Not your typical size back here.
No, he's not in the game right now, but he's a big back. He has home run speed. He's their all-around backer, leading rusher from last year. He reminds me of Le'Veon Bell. We'll see him soon.
2nd and 14, a little jump at the line. Some more flags will come. And we'll go ahead and sort this out here in just a moment. Looked like Jacksonville State jumped first, but they were thinking that maybe someone else on the Coastal Carolina offensive line might have flinched. So already some early work for officiating crew.
Offside. Defense number 96. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Rodney Burnett sorts that out, and already a penalty on both sides.
Yeah, they run a tempo offense, Coastal does, but they also switch up the tempo. That was a hard count that got Jack State to jump off sides there.
The handoff to Simpkins, breaks to the second level, dragged down at the 46-yard line. Set things up for third down as we highlight the Jack State defense, and a lot of players that you can highlight, but J. Rock Swain is the leading man.
He's the OG, the leader in the locker room. He's been around quite a bit. They're going to need to stop the run tonight, and it's going to start with J. Rock Swain.
Simpkins stays in the game. 1st and 10 as he picks up the first down. They'll give it to Simpkins again. The sophomore from Miami, Florida, getting some early work.
Yeah, he's a new transfer to the team. I know the OC Trickett talked how he recruited him 3 different schools. He got him here. He's a dynamic running back. I mean, they love his change of pace speed, and it looks like he gets a start here today because of his ability to run downhill and break out big runs.
4-yard gain. 3 carries already for Simpkins as Coastal Carolina is now in Jack State territory. Vasco in the shotgun, fakes the handoff, slings it quickly to the outside, dancing but dragged down. Not much going there. They were trying to get it to Trey Taylor, their speedster, a loss of 3. That was Zechariah Poyser.
Great open field tackle. They're going to run these RPOs and get the ball out quickly. You got to be able to tackle in space. Setting up a third down here. It's spread out. We got flat line across the board. Anytime you see these DBs on a line, it looks like it'd be a blitz zero coverage here. Bringing some pressure.
They show pressure. They cross the line. Free play here potentially. Vasco down the sideline, nearly picked off. But you get the sense there's be another flag against the Jack State defense.
Coastal Carolina is switching up this tempo. Jack State's coming out a little excited, maybe too excited. They're not watching the ball.
Offside. Defense number 41 in the neutral zone at the snap. The 5-yard penalty results in the first down.
Curly Young Jr. whistled for offsides, and already the early penalty is helping out Coastal Carolina.
You see it again. Vasco's doing a great job of using this hard count and getting these guys to jump off sides and get a free 5 yards. You can't do that as a defender on third down. You can't give up free first downs.
So fresh set of downs for Vasco. If you talk about the opening drive of the season, it is going to perfection as Simpkins busts free. Simpkins keeps his feet, tries to cut one more time. Finally wrestled out of bounds at the 10-yard line. A gain of 24 yards as the Chanticleers gash him.
Javen Simpkins, great vision, great feet, get off of me. Not even going down, great balance, and he finishes it there. I mean, they talked about this being a no-huddle offense, a spread offense, but it's a power offense. They come out running the ball.
Simpkins chose Coastal Carolina over the likes of Texas and Michigan State, 12 other Group of 4 schools, and the sophomore coming up huge in this first drive. They fake the handoff. It's Vasco. The dart is deflected. He's trying to get it to Cameron Wright, but broken up as Poyser able to get a hand in there.
Poyser does a great job here of staying inside 17 and breaks that ball up. I mean, he came out to play earlier this game with the great tackle and the great pass break up there.
Tonight's Red Zone is brought to you by Verizon. You see the percentages, and Logan, you've talked about Coastal Carolina. They're going to continue to improve their efficiency here.
This is a key point for Coastal Carolina. Can they get to the red zone? Can they come away with touchdowns? Last year, 127th in the country. That's not good enough. They worked on it all offseason. They need to score down here.
3 receivers to the far side. Designed run for Vasco. He is chopped down. They're going to bring up third down. Gain of 2. Jack State was all over it.
This is a big third down here. Ethan Vasco is not a great passer down the field. They like him because of his legs. They like him because of his quick decision making. He takes care of the ball. But can he execute down here in 3rd and goal here in the 8-yard line? They need to walk away, like I said, with touchdowns this year. Walking away with field goals is not going to get it done against this offense. We got this blitz look again from Jacksonville State.
The tight end, Kane Barong, who was injured last year, split out near the hash on the far side of the field. He's a red zone target. Keep an eye on him. A shift before the snap. 2 to go. Vasco rolling to the left, lofts it up, too strong out the corner of the end zone. Was looking for Seneca McKee. That'll bring out the field goal unit.
Seneca McKee, they talk about he has great ball skills, but you got to give him a catchable ball. They rolled out there to the left, and Vasco, like I said, he was not the most accurate, and that ball was not placed well, and they're looking like they're coming here with a field goal attempt. I know it's not what they wanted, but it's what they're going to get.
25-yard attempt, Cade Hensley to step onto the field. Mac West will be the holder. Coastal Carolina looking for their first points of the season from the right hash. The kick is up and straight through the pipes as the Chanticleers march down the field and pick up 3 points on the opening drive.
You can't feel bad about 3 points at all, and you can't feel bad as Coast of Jack State getting a stop. It's a win-win on both sides. We'll see what we got part 2.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Geico. Whatever you need, get more with Geico. By Verizon. And by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef?
Rich Rodriguez, he has had success at so many levels at different schools and institutions. You remember specifically, and you played against some of those West Virginia squads he had.
Oh yeah, high-powered Pat White, Noel Devine, Steve Slayton, Geno Smith, and Tavon Austin, who just retired. Had a heck of a career in college. One of the greatest highlight tapes on YouTube you ever see.
He's taken 4 different programs to bowl games, and when we chatted with him in his offense, you just felt that sense of relaxation. He was at peace here at Jack State, and his family's very integrated into the program. We'll have more on that later. We go out to lunch, and we run into his wife. She gives us a big hug. There's that world-famous queso, that nacho dip that we have to somehow get a bowl of up here.
Rita's nacho dip.
Here comes the kickoff. And that's going to sail out of the end zone as Liam Gray, here's your stat of the day, Logan, has now tied the school record for most touchbacks in Coastal Carolina history.
Shout out to him, man. We can't get any better than breaking a record here tonight. Logan Smothers, the quarterback tonight, accounted for 13 total touchdowns last year. He's great at what they do. He knows the tempo. He knows what Rich Rod wants. The offense is Rich Rod's baby, and Logan Smothers is in charge of it tonight. So we'll see how he does, but he has experience. He's played last year. He's a reliable choice.
Buckle up. Last year, it was the fastest offense in all of college football, just barely over 20 seconds per snap. And they want to continue that pace to begin this season. It's Smothers in the backfield. Anwar Lewis takes a hit, and coming downhill and chopping him, Tobias Fletcher had a beat on it.
Tobias comes downhill like a heat-seeking missile, and that's a great tackle inside out. Gets him down for a 1-yard gain.
Wasting no time. A deep split in the backfield on the hash was Lewis. Not much going there. And now that'll bring up 3rd down just like that as Shane Bruce was in on the tackle. Real quick look at the Jack State offense. Clay Webb, you know he's good if you highlight a guard.
I saw a couple pro scouts here tonight. It was for Clay Webb. He is going to be playing on Sundays. Ladies and gentlemen, he is an NFL caliber player.
3rd and 8. The backfield empty. He's trying to throw a strike, and just outside the reach, it was Michael Petway running the crossing route. And that's the danger of this fast-paced offense. You can go 3 and out real quickly and give it right back to the other team.
Absolutely. Jack State got off track. You saw they ran 2 exotic perimeter plays, got tackled for no gain, and now they're in a 3rd and long. They don't want to be in 3rd and longs. Very, very often this game is not their strength.
Jack Dawson, the senior from Sylvania Waters, Australia, back to punt. Up for the Ray Guy Award watch list this year. Fair catch signal called by Trey Taylor at the 28-yard line. So 1, 2, 3, line them up after the 45-yard punt. Coastal Carolina will take over when we come back. 3-0 lead for Coastal Carolina as they begin their 2nd drive of the game. And now let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by FreshBet.
Coastal Carolina, they're going to have to create turnovers. We know Jack State wants to go fast. You got to steal possessions. And we saw it. They need to maximize opportunities in the red zone. They got to come away with touchdowns, not field goals. Jacksonville State needs to set their tempo. Fastest offense in the college, we didn't see it just yet, and they need to dominate the line of scrimmage. J-Rock Swain, Clay Webb, run the ball, stop the run. Those are the keys to the game.
And that's what we noticed from the opening drive, is that Coastal Carolina had no issues running the ball. This was the team that was known for their air attack last year, but it was very impressive what we saw from Javen Simpkins. That opening drive, they'll fake the handoff to him. Rolling to his right is Vasco. Vasco finds his big tight end, Kendall Carr. It takes a flurry of Jack State defenders to finally bring him down. 12 yards on the first down pickup.
We know they love their tight ends in this offense. They've been playing 2 a lot, 12 personnel. Kendall Carr's one of them. And you see all that running in the first series. Now you come out with a play action, your tight end's wide open. I like how they're calling it so far.
Carr, preseason second-team Sun Belt. One of the many tight ends that Coach Beck raved about in our call. It's the handoff. Simpkins trying to make his way to the line of scrimmage, chopped down, and that's Kaiwan McCray that was able to get there in the backfield.
Just highlighted those tight ends. They kept them both in there. They ran it behind them, and that didn't work. Kaiwan McCray had something to say about it. And here we go with a 2nd and long. I'm sure they're going to try to approach this somewhat manageable so they get a 3rd and manageable. I know they want Ethan Vasco in those situations tonight.
Wright goes in motion. You see the defense shift with him. Waiting on the snap is Vasco, patient. Slow developing handoff, and it's just Simpkins that continues to churn those legs near the first down marker at midfield.
Javen Simpkins, 5'9", 190 pounds, but he's turning those legs. He's keeping it pushing. He's dynamic, nicely stout running back that has strength and speed and power.
Brings up 3rd and 1 defensively. Jack State, now you're going to have to be ready to defend a lot of different options here.
Yeah, they can go for it on 4th down. You can take a shot here, because if you go for it on 4th down, I think they want to convert this 3rd down.
They load the right side. Leaping over, the ball is loose. It's still on the turf. Scrambling for it are both teams. And this looks like Jack State is going to force their first turnover of the season. And you mentioned the defense dominating the line of scrimmage. Right there, they force the turnover.
Bill Belichick is ripping his hair out right now. We do not dive over the pile in the middle of the field. That is a goal line move. He pulls it out in the middle of the field, and this is what happened. The ball gets punched out. This is a desperation attempt. He's not sealing the ball when he's doing that, and that is a turnover, and you do not want to give Rich Rodriguez and Jack State extra possessions. Tim Beck is biting his lip right now.
It looked like Kaiwan McCray was in there on the initial hit that jostled the ball loose, and this was the calling card for Jack State last year. This defense that was so opportunistic already showing its fangs here in the first quarter. So Logan Smothers back in the game, gets another chance, fakes the handoff. Smothers darting to the left side of the field. Smothers finally brought down just outside the 40-yard line, but Logan Smothers showcasing the running ability, picks up 13 yards.
And that's what Logan Smothers does. He's athletic, he can run the ball, he can run the offense, put it in his hands. Great game there.
They continue to push the pace. The handoff to Lewis. Lewis spinning, pinballing his way forward. And now you see that tempo start to benefit Jack State.
Rich Rod says he wants to see what the backup defensive linemen look like, how deep they are. He wants to run it so fast, the starting defensive linemen have to go take a break.
Things slow down just a little bit. You still see some signals from the sideline for Jack State as those receivers need to know where they line up. Petway in motion. It's the handoff once again as Lewis really starting to find his footing, picks up another first down after the 7-yard gain.
We haven't mentioned him yet. Anwar Lewis returning back. He knows the system. A leading rusher from last year, and he's right back in it, lined up right now.
Fresh set of downs at the 31. The handoff to Lewis, and he has stood up. Getting in there was Will Whitson, the second-year player out of JC that has been a key force of this defensive line.
Rich Rodriguez is someone that will run the same play twice. He ran it one time, he runs it again. Coastal Carolina not fooled. They brought some pressure, and that is a great tackle there. Whitson pushes him back, and he lines up a 2nd and 8 here.
Andrew Paul, the transfer from Georgia, the running back now in the game. No flag. They're going to chuck it to the outside, and that is batted down on the perimeter. Matthew McDoom able to get a paw on it.
They thought they had a free play there. They thought they had offsides. They can just throw it up. They didn't get it. put it up. McDoom is a guy who can win one-on-one. I'm going to be speaking a lot about him tonight, not only because his last name is super cool, but he is their best corner. He can play on an island. He can defend man-to-man. This guy has the potential to play on Sundays as well.
I'm about to say McDoom's a little bit more intimidating than Ryan as a last name in that secondary.
They're not saying Legion of Ryan. Legion of McDoom. He's got it patent if he wanted.
3rd and 8 for Jack State. Smothers in the shotgun. Paul to his left. Smothers has time in the pocket, dancing forward, but doesn't make a decision in time. Brought down by that defensive front. A very impressive display by that front 6 there for Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, the front rush extremely disciplined there, but this is a coverage sack. They had it all protected in the back end. They did not give up the big shot. That's what Smothers wanted. He was smart. He kept the ball. They're in field goal range. He doesn't want to force it. So that, I know D linemen love the sacks, but sometimes the coverage can help that.
49-yard attempt for Garrison Ripa, as they like to say. Let it rip as he tries to put Jack State on the board for the first time this season. The kick is up. And that is right in the middle of the fairway. So Jacksonville State gets a chance to answer Coastal Carolina. And we are tied up at 3 apiece. So far, it's been fast-paced and lots of fun here in the first quarter. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, there's more college football coming your way as Lehigh and Army take to the gridiron right here on CBS Sports Network. And we're going to get Army next week as they take on FAU here, Logan, but we'll get an early look at Bryson Daly. How about this? Over 900 yards on both the ground and through the air. An impressive two-way option for Army.
Second Army quarterback with 900 passing yards. You're not used to seeing that. We're going to see him open it up. Dual threat over there at Army.
So Garrison Ripa with a career-long 49-yard field goal on that last drive, and that sets it up. The kickoff here. Christian Washington will bring it out. Had a nice return to start this game. Lowers the shoulder. Finally takes another hit. As he is brought down at the 23-yard line. 19 yards on the return.
Ethan Basco comes out playing well. They obviously had the turnover there with the fumble in the middle of the field. Pretty foolish, but they're going to get back on track here. Figure it out, run the ball. That's been working, and try to get things going. Try to keep it going. I think they're happy with where they're at.
And defensively, you have a turnover at midfield to hold them to 3 points. You've got to be happy also for Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, that's a win. I mean, this Rich Rodriguez offense that we've been talking about hasn't got started yet. I think Coastal wants to keep it that way.
Braden Bennett making his first appearance of the game in the backfield. Designed run for Vasco. He lowers the shoulder, picks up 5 impressive yards on the opening carry. And now you're seeing both quarterbacks here, Logan, not afraid to run immediately after the snap.
I think their legs are their strength, right? We think about a quarterback, obviously their arm needs to come to account, but they both want to run the ball. Braden Bennett is their biggest back, a blocking back, a lead back, a running back as well. So he's in the game now. I think they can be a little more versatile with him in the game.
2nd and 4, 6 yards on the Vasco carry. This time Vasco rolling out, a lot of his options covered up, has to just dump it off late to Bennett. Bennett able to get the catch, spins forward, and a split-second decision by Vasco helps them pick up the first down.
A little improvisation by Vasco there. Kind of went at his knees there, but as a quarterback, you got to protect yourself. The best thing you can do for your team is have availability. Can't be taking hits like that all day.
So a new set of downs for the Chanticleers. Just under 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. They've dominated the time of possession as well. Much more slower and deliberate on their drives than Jacksonville State. The handoff. Bennett going around the tackle box, keeps his footing, scampers forward. Brought down at the 46-yard line, so Bennett showing the balance to go with the size.
Outstanding vision by Bennett here. Look at him caught it all the way back. And this is why I say he reminds me of Le'Veon Bell. He runs upright, and he's able to break tackles.
9 yards for Bennett at 6'2", 215. Atypical frame for a back. We get the carry again, this time busting through the middle, tackled near the logo. And here comes Coastal Carolina getting into that groove with their running game.
Bryson Bennett was a guy I had highlighted coming in, and now you're seeing why. He can run it outside. He can catch the ball. He can run it downhill. The more you give him the ball, the better day you're going to have on offense.
Bennett will check out. Simpkins will come back into the game, who did most of the heavy carrying the first 2 drives. Vasco keeps it, the stiff arm, and it's just leveled at the 50-yard line. Coming down in coverage, Derek Carter laying the lumber.
Yeah, Jack State has all 11 defenders within 10 yards. They know that they're going to run the ball every play, and these defenders are chomping at the bit. They're baiting. They are baiting Coastal Carolina to throw it over their heads.
To your point, just 16 combined passing yards before this drive started in this game. As a defense, I imagine you're trying to load the box. You're going to be thinking run more than anything else.
Look at all these DBs right here lined up under 10 yards. I mean, they're playing aggressively.
The pitch to the outside. Simpkins trying to get to the edge. Simpkins dragging a few defenders. Fights his way forward. Gain of 5.
And here's where we get to the third downs, right? This is so important for Coastal to convert third downs, to control the time of possession, to control the game. Now, do you pass it? You probably have to. Ethan Vasco, this is the time we got to see your arm. This is the time we got to see you set up, make a good read, and make a good throw. Like I said earlier, Jack State is baiting you to throw the ball right now.
Interesting for Jack State, no J-Rock Swain on the line right now. He was their most disruptive defender last year. Here's the snap, 3rd and 5. Vasco trying to throw to the outside, able to haul it in. High degree of difficulty. Jamison Tucker, the captain, keeps the chains moving.
Jamison Tucker's their go-to guy for a reason. Vasco puts his ball behind, but Jamison Tucker is able to adjust and make a contested catch.
I see Coastal Carolina feinting tempo. Vasco will go to the line.
They saw some pressure here. Now they're going to change the play. Little cat and mouse game between the coordinators.
Vasco has shown some impressive composure here in the first quarter. Vasco this time eyeing it downfield, left wide open, an easy pitch and catch for the touchdown. Trey Taylor, 36 yards as Coastal Carolina punches it in the end zone.
I have been hinting at this the last couple snaps. They are baiting you to throw it deep. We saw that they saw the pressure was coming. Vasco changes the play. I run this play in NCAA. This is called slot fade. I love it. And they say that Taylor is the fastest player that O.C. Trickett has ever coached, has ever seen, like fast. And when you're that wide open, you don't need to be that fast, but it helps. And Trickett goes in for 6.
Ethan Vasco, the patience and the delivery. The extra point is good. Coastal Carolina leads 10-3, but they are having easy work against this Jacksonville State defense. The Chanticleers showing up in Jacksonville tonight. Trey Taylor, the first touchdown of the game, gives the Chanticleers a 7-point lead. 1:12 left in the first quarter, and Logan, oftentimes first game of the season, it's protecting the football, limiting penalties, and making sure you know your assignments as Coastal Carolina completes the 8-play, 77-yard drive.
Yeah, defensive mistakes, especially in the secondary, lead to big plays. I'm going to get to it shortly and show you why, but there was a blown coverage there, which left the fastest player on the offense wide open. We can't win many games doing that.
The question with Coastal Carolina was what this offense was going to look like. Missing several key pieces, their leading passer, their top 2 leading receivers from last year. They have not skipped a beat. The fair catch is called, and let's check it out here, this last play.
Let's get on it. When I see all these guys at the line of scrimmage, Ethan Vasco thinks he is getting man-to-man coverage right here, right there. He's going to check to a slot fade. It's a matchup he likes. He's got his fastest player right there. I run on the video game. Stop it right here. Now this is not man-to-man, and someone's got to cover back here. Whose job is that? I don't know. Taylor does not care. Ethan Vasco does not care. We'll take all that space, and that's 6 all day. Miscommunication on defense.
That's what I appreciate about you, Logan. You're a busy dad, yet you still find time for NCAA and to hop on the sticks here. Here's Smothers. Logan gets smothered, coughs up the football. Coastal Carolina trying to punch this in. And how about this? The defense coming up huge. Will Whitson, the initial hit.
Will Whitson, you came up with two of my keys right there, buddy. I thank you for making me look so great in the booth. One, we created a takeaway. Sacks aren't good enough. We need to get the ball. We need to steal possessions. And number two, we need to score touchdowns in the red area. Not only do you get the sack, you get the sack fumble, and it's a defensive touchdown. There's no bigger play in football than that trifecta right there.
Clev Lubin dons the cape, has the sword, and all of a sudden Coastal Carolina has seized complete control of this game. So they're going to take one more look because we did see the ball come out as Lubin was crossing the goal line. But that's almost as bad as a kickoff return fumble, which is just a backbreaker for any team to try and deal with. And now some early season adversity for Jacksonville State. So it looks like the officials might see if Smothers' knee was down. Let's take a closer look here, Logan.
Oh, that's a fumble all day. I mean, he dropped it right on contact. That's a great job by Whitson, is raking for the ball, and he raked that out. This is going to stand.
And Cam Jones was the guard. You saw him lose his footing. Whitson had a chance to get there.
After review, confirmed touchdown.
So the first turnover of the season forced by Coastal Carolina turns into a scoop and score.
Big man with the reach out like he's done it before. Give me that. Touchdown. Definitely the first one of his career, and he is hype.
Lubin, the redshirt sophomore from Suffern, New York. A highlight he will always remember. Extra point is good. 17-3 lead for Coastal Carolina. Back-to-back touchdowns in under a minute. We come back. Jacksonville State trying to find some rhythm. Saturday morning at 7:30. Make sure to catch all the EFL action as Burnley takes on the Blackburn Rovers. And then at 10 Eastern, Peterborough United squares off with Wrexham on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount Plus. Logan, I know you love to watch a match on the pitch. Your thoughts on these matchups, my friend?
I love Wrexham, man. Deadpool and Rob McElhenney. Let's go, Wrexham. Let's not get relegated.
See, I'm learning more and more about you as that kick sails out of bounds, and that'll give Jack State's a wonderful field position. You packed your football scarves on this trip.
Yeah, we got a kick out of bounds flag here. But yeah, I watch a little bit of everything. A lot of Disney Plus. When you got two kids, I watch a lot of Disney Plus, and Wrexham is a great show on Disney Plus. I recommend it to you guys.
Yeah, I've got the 4 boys, and so trust me, I can't remember the last time I watched TV on my own TV here. So now we have a quarterback change. Tyler Huff, the transfer from Furman, will get his first snaps as a Jacksonville State player. And obviously, you look at the fact that Smothers had the turnover on the last drive. You now try to go with Huff, who they feel is just as capable. Huff, the handoff. That's going to be the reverse fake by Lewis. Lewis gets to the corner, scampers out of bounds, but not before picking up 11 yards in the first down.
Yeah, Tyler Huff, the Furman transfer, not just the Furman transfer, he's a Southern Conference Player of the Year. He can ball too. Logan Smothers has not been taking care of the ball. Obviously, we solved the turnover, so this is why I think we see the change to Huff, and Huff is actually the better passer downfield, so this opens up their offense a little bit.
Trey Stewart now the back in the game. The senior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. A stable of running backs here for Jack State. The toss and a miscommunication. Intercepted on the sidelines. It is Matthew McDoom. And back-to-back possessions with back-to-back turnovers for Jacksonville State.
McDoom, get your airtime. I previewed you. You can play on Sundays. He's a great cover corner. Huff thought he had the one-on-one there and just threw it up, and he was sleeping on McDoom, and McDoom made him pay. You see Huff with the play fake. He goes right to it, stares it down. That's too easy for McDoom, the #1 corner. Comfortable playing on the island. Easy pitch and catch. He made himself some money with the scouts in the building.
Keep this in mind. We saw Huff have a conversation with Cam Vaughn, who's a redshirt freshman. It seemed like Vaughn was supposed to stop, and that was supposed to be a back shoulder fade, and that's why the ball was positioned where it was.
What was he wearing right there? That was like a House of a Dragon thing on his back there.
Either way, I know it's really hot right now having that on as we go ahead and see Braden Bennett back into the game for the Chanticleers, and he has a nice 5-yard gain. It is just everything turning up for Coastal Carolina at this moment.
It's all Chanticleers right now, and they're running it. They're taking care of the ball, and honestly, they made less mistakes in the first half.
An explosive first half defensively for Coastal Carolina. 17-3 advantage. You saw the home run to Taylor for the touchdown, and then the sack that led to the scoop and score. 14-point lead for the visiting Chanticleers. You are watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Last year, these two teams met on September 9th. Braden Bennett got things going for Coastal Carolina with an 8-yard run to start the game. After trading field goals, Coastal pulled away in the second half. Grayson McCall connected with Jared Brown on a 48-yard touchdown. Then Brown scored again on a 77-yard run. He ended the day with 170 total yards. Coastal went on to win 30-16. And tonight they lead by 14 points. And how about the first quarter stats here? Just the difference we've seen offensively. This was a Jack State defense that was one of the best in the country. They yielded 155 yards in that first quarter.
It doesn't get any better than that. What a great start.
Bennett gets the handoff and stood up. Zechariah Poyser. Stonewalling.
Zechariah Poyser, we've been saying your name. You've been popping on tape. I talk about Bennett. He runs a little tall. When you run tall, you can get scooped like ice cream. And that's what Poyser did there. He likes vanilla.
Well, Bennett is a track athlete also, a hurdler, and the coaching staff was saying the biomechanics, hurdles, you want to stay upright. Get those hips up over the hurdle. Goes against what you're trying to do as a running back. So a little bit of a switch up for Bennett as he shifts to the left side of Vasco. Vasco back to pass, pressure coming, throws it over the middle, intercepted. And how about the last two plays where Poyser gets the hit and then the pick at Jacksonville State, right back in business.
Poyser, your name is on our tongue, man. He's been balling. We know that Vasco is not an extremely comfortable passer. He gets pressured there and he kind of just throws it up in the middle. Is Poyser able to get his elbows underneath it? We shall see. They might review this. As a defender, I always go with my defenders, but they might review this and see that it might touch the turf.
You always have to sell it afterwards, right,
Absolutely.
Logan?
I'm selling it in the booth. I'm non-biased. I want him to get it because interceptions are hard to get, and he's been playing his butt off, and he gets rewarded. But
the previous play of an interception is under review.
They shall review. Us defenders hate this moment.
And this is huge because Jack State has turned it over their last two possessions. Nothing going on offense, and defensively you saw they gave up over 150 yards in the first quarter. They just need something momentum-wise, on the sideline, anything that can help the vibes improve.
Yeah, Jack State needs a spark, and Poyser's been that spark. And we got to see if he got his elbows underneath it. I see that he got the catch, but I don't know if he can bring that back there. I don't know if he got fully underneath that ball.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
And I think if you can't prove it otherwise, the view's not good enough. It stands. Shout out to my defenders on getting a pick there. Shout out on Poyser on making Vasco pay. And we've talked about these quarterbacks. They need to play smart. And both teams have struggled with that. And that obviously bites Vasco there. And Tyler Huff comes back out with a second chance at it.
Vasco, keep in mind, threw just one interception all of last season. Throws his first one of the year at the start of the second quarter. Andrew Paul will be the back. As you mentioned, Tyler Huff at quarterback. Get his chance for a second series. Huff, the handoff right up through the middle. Nice run here on first down for Paul. We have some extracurricular activity as a couple of big bodies and Will Whitson.
Just some, hey, how you doing? Welcome back to football season.
It's always that anticipation of hitting somebody with a different colored jersey for the first time, right?
Exactly.
Here's up to the outside, and that's just simply dropped by the normally reliable P.J. Wells.
Rich Rodriguez trying to go back to the basics, run the ball on first down, have an easy catch and throw on second down. They're not able to execute. This is a big third down. Jacksonville State needs to start converting third downs to take control of this game so it doesn't get out of hand.
We haven't called Sean Brown's name yet. Their tight end that had 5 touchdowns last season. Split to the right side of the field. Huff, the screen, and that is another drop pass. This time, they're trying to get it to the receiver on the tunnel screen, but we have a flag on the play. We'll sort this out here.
Might be looking at an illegal block downfield.
There is no foul on the play for offensive pass interference. The ball was touched behind the line.
So another quick 3 and out, 2 drop passes for Jack State, and you really can't fault Huff over the last 2 series. You had a miscommunication on the route. Now you see Rich Rod. A few choice words for Huff. What did he say about his disciplinary action sometimes?
He is an equal opportunity yeller. That means everybody can get the business. Nobody's been playing good enough. Everyone's getting an earful. And who knows, there might be another quarterback change. He said he's going to play an array of them tonight until he sees who can get the job done.
They do have Zion Turner, the transfer from UConn. This time the punt, and that is going to be a fair catch signaled by Trey Taylor. The 3 and out, Coastal Carolina after the 48-yard punt will take over as they hang on to a 14-point lead. Saturday, CBS kicks off some big-time college football at 3:30 with Akron visiting number 2 Ohio State. Then in prime time, UCLA travels across the Pacific to Hawaii. College football is back on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. A couple of notes on the AP preseason top 25. Ohio State top 5 in the last 4 seasons for Ryan Day and company. But how about Michigan? Lowest ranking of reigning national champion since 2011. A bit understandable with some of the departures.
Yeah, they lost a lot of players there, obviously from a great run, and they lost their coach in Harbaugh, so we'll see how they do it. I think they have something to say about it.
Georgia also number 1 national championship game will be in Atlanta this year. Coastal Carolina will take it over here. 1st and 10. Vasco, another deep pass down the seam. Acrobatic catch, dropped at the last second. That would have been a sensational highlight for Bryson Graves, the sophomore.
If it works once, this is the touchdown play, run it again. Graves just cannot control it all the way to the ground. It's the slot fade, like I said, that worked earlier. And he had it all the way. You just got to hug that thing like a baby.
And you always hate dropping it in front of the other team side.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get some flack from the other team for sure. But you just point to the scoreboard when it's 17-3. No big deal.
Brings up 2nd and 10. Christian Washington is the back. Vasco, quick strike. It's Taylor sprinting down the middle of the field. A quick shift. It's a foot race. Taylor trying to outrun the defense. Finally dragged down by Poyser. But so far, Trey Taylor has turned this into his own track meet.
Trey Taylor looking like Xavier Worthy here. We talked to O.C. Trickett. He said he's the fastest guy I've ever seen on the football field. That is a big take, and you see that speed coming to fruition for Coastal Carolina.
57 yards for Trey Taylor. 2 big-time plays, and Coastal Carolina knocking on the door. Vasco so far 6 of 10 for 123 yards. We're going to have a timeout called by Coastal Carolina. They didn't really like what they saw there.
No, they didn't. Jack State has been...
Timeout, Coastal Carolina. They're first. 30 seconds.
Jack State has been loading the line of scrimmage and, like I said, daring Ethan Vasco to throw the ball. And I think Ethan Vasco's been coming to the line of scrimmage, seeing what he wants, checking it, and finding a way to get the ball to Taylor.
What we saw there, all the receivers for Coastal Carolina were on the near side of the field. It was empty on the other side. What are you thinking there? But first, let's look at this long pass play, and then we'll break it down.
Yeah, they drop out into a zone, and Taylor finds this space. This is an RPO play, ladies and gentlemen. That means they have a run-pass option. They don't like the run. They can throw it out there And you can't leave a guy with this much speed to have that much space. I've been seeing that too much tonight from Jacksonville State's defense. And if they didn't know who Taylor was, now they know.
So Coastal Carolina will come out in a different formation. 2 receivers to the near side of the field. Kendall Carr, the tight end, lined up tight on the right-hand side. Designed run, Vasco, lead blocker from Christian Washington, tries to fight his way forward. He stood up, finally. Halted after a 9-yard gain.
Ethan Vasco, a big guy, 6'3", 220 pounds. They obviously use him as a runner. You see those strong legs churning there.
I've been very impressed with this offensive line for Coastal Carolina. They have been dominating the line of scrimmage, an area of strength for this Jack State defense last year.
I thought it was Jack State's strength. Doesn't look like it so far. You still got to come out and play.
2nd and 1. Vasco, he'll go to work again, finds the seam. Physical run by the quarterback as Vasco's put together an impressive first half. 8 yards, make it 1st and goal on the 4-yard line.
Football is not that complicated, ladies and gentlemen. If the last play works, let's just flip it and run it to the left, and let's see if they can stop it.
Not too complicated coming from the 11-year vet that's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. Here's the handoff, Vasco. He finds pay dirt as Coastal Carolina scores again, and they are really starting to distance themselves.
I need a head coaching job. Let's run it 3 times in a row. Let's run it to the right, get some yards. Let's flip it to the left, and let's get on the ball. They haven't stopped it yet, and we'll run it again. Ethan Vasco hits pay dirt with the same play 3 times in a row.
23-3, and it's looking very easy out there for Ethan Vasco and this Coastal Carolina offense. No answers whatsoever from Jack State as Hensley gets set to kick the extra point. 21-point lead, Ethan Vasco. His connection with Trey Taylor. That has been a matchup that Jacksonville State has not been able to figure out tonight. The big-time play sets up 3 straight Vasco runs for the touchdown, and the Shanta clears. It is all clear for them here in the 2nd quarter.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Jardians, by Snickers. Snickers satisfies. And by Fresh Pet. It's not dog food, it's food food.
The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers 24-3 lead over Jacksonville State. The offensive numbers for Coastal Carolina, 236 total yards, and the balance 123 through the air, 113 rushing. But Ethan Vasco has completely controlled this game with his arms and legs. He's been able to connect on the 2 big-time plays, and now Jacksonville State, even though they're down 3 scores here, Logan, you say this offense is built to come back.
Absolutely. When you're down 3 scores in a video game, when you're down 3 scores in the NFL, when you're down 3 scores in college, what are you going to go to? No huddle offense. Let's turbo offense on the ball. That is what Jack State does. They practice this. They're okay. They don't want to be in this position, but they are built to go fast, and now that offense is going to have to go fast to try to make up the score here. So don't turn just yet. They are built to come back from deficits like this.
So Logan Smothers will go back into the game. The last time we saw him, he was sacked, fumbled the ball. It was a scoop and score for Coastal Carolina, and that's really when the floodwater started to come in here for the Gamecocks. Let's see if they can get something going on offense. They have really stalled out their last couple of drives. It's the handoff, and Jacksonville State just trying to go with something to find a little bit more momentum. That was DeMarcus Lacey with the handoff.
Yeah, you want to just throw the first quarter away, get back to the basics, perimeter run game. That's Jacksonville State style.
It's good for the first down. Nothing going here as give Coastal Carolina a little bit of credit. Lewis runs into a wall of defenders. That defensive front has been impressive.
They came to play. We highlighted Clay Webb in the offensive line, but they definitely came to play. I want to see Sean Brown here. He's a guy we haven't talked about enough yet. He's their best offensive player. Let's highlight him.
2nd and 10. Smothers has to keep it. Moving to his left, Smothers just flings it up. Excellent coverage downfield by Coastal Carolina. 3rd and 10, just like that.
This ball is intended to come out quick here, and it doesn't. It just seems like the timing is off. The protection is not matching up with the routes, not matching up with the quarterback. We have a 3rd and 10 here, not the exact position that Logan Smothers wants to be in, but you're a Division I quarterback. We got to come in here and make it happen. This is a crucial 3rd down for Jack State.
They just have to get some clock going. The average amount of time for their last 5 drives, just 58 seconds. Smothers looking deep down the field. Nothing going as a defender behind him. Smothers trying to spin forward, but that's going to bring up 4th. About 5 here. So Jacksonville State, you mentioned it, just off rhythm. The timing certainly not there on offense.
Yeah, Rich Rod even considering go for it on 4th down there, but you can't. The timing is off. I talk about having a fast car, but they haven't got out the garage yet.
Jack Dawson set to punt for the 2nd time here tonight. Back to receive has been the most dangerous man on the field so far. Trey Taylor already has that 36-yard touchdown, a 57-yard completion to go with it. Dawson, high spiraling kick. That'll bounce into the end zone. 59 yards on the punt. It's a new season, which means we have some new rules. There's a 2-minute timeout at the end of the 2nd and the 4th quarter. That'll obviously stop the clock and initiate some of those clock-stopping rules that come into effect. The use of tablets for in-game video. Yep, we got tablet kids on the sideline here. And then coach-to-player communications, which you feel that's a game changer this season.
Yeah, the NFL rules are coming down to college, and now these coaches can talk to the quarterback for 15 seconds or talk to the middle linebacker or whoever the signal caller is. And that's able to get the play in quicker for the kids. They don't have to always look at the sideline. It's able to run more plays, which we know Jack State wants to do, and which Coastal Carolina's doing a great job of.
Braden Bennett, the running back into the game here for Coastal Carolina. Ethan Vasco has had no issues on the last couple of drives. This time they begin from their own 20. Makes the handoff to Bennett. The slant caught on the run. No safety help. Then that ball comes out late. We'll see if the officials mark Cameron right down. And they do, but 24 yards on the completion. And another big play.
Yeah, this is the RPO again. This is the run-pass option. And when you're crowding a line of scrimmage, we're going to check out of that run and throw this pass, this slant, all day. And this is a great job of punching at that ball, man. I made a career of forcing fumbles by punching at them. And, of course, Johnny on the spot is there to pick it up. And but it looks like he didn't get out in time.
No, officials rule him down first. Bennett darting forward, dashing near midfield, able to get into Jacksonville State territory after the 7-yard carry.
So Jack State's on their heels. Coastal Carolina's going to run it. If they don't like the look, they could check it to a deep pass, or they can run this pass option. So it seems like they have all three. Jack State needs to take away something. I need to take away the run completely, or I need to take away the pass. I can't give up both.
Vasco trying to dump it to the outside and quickly brought down. And one thing to keep in mind with this Jacksonville State defense, they do have a new defensive coordinator in Luke Olson. And they're trying to keep everything similar from last year, but there is new terminology and new conversations that happen.
The new defensive coordinator, even if the schemes are the same, new terminology is like learning a new language. And that might take you a second to process that word, and it might allow you to be playing slow. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. They're breaking into this new defensive coordinator.
You do get the sense there's a lot more thinking rather than reacting on the defensive side of the ball for Jacksonville State. 3rd and 3, Vasco. Graves was the man in motion. Vasco, patient in the pocket, throws it out to Graves. Graves unable to make the catch. And now a decision here for Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina has a decision here. They're playing great. I say they stay on the field and go for it, but Tim Beck says we don't need to. We have the lead. Let's play it safe. It was a simple play, not executed. Let's just punt it away.
Felt like the timing was just a little bit off, that Graves didn't get his head around in time, so it leads to an incompletion. Out comes the punt team as Emil Sebafundi, another punter from Melbourne, Australia, gets set to try and pin Jacksonville State deep in their own territory.
You nailed that pronunciation.
I try, my friend. You scooped up fumbles, I try to say names. High flying punt. Bounces at the 5, skips along the goal line. I don't know if you golf, Logan, but that's just pulling out the 57-degree wedge and putting it right there by the cup, my friend.
Threw the curveball at him.
It's time now for Pound, brought to you by Rogue Fitness. It was Will Whitson, the hit, Cleve Lubin, the scoop, the scramble, and the score. And Logan, what does that mean if you're with Coastal Carolina? You're a defensive player, you force the turnover. What's waiting for you on the sideline? You got the turnover cloak.
And that turnover cloak, maybe House of Dragon, Queen Rhaenyra. That must be a dragon rider right there. Huge fan of the show. I want that cloak up in the booth.
I'm sure we can find a way to get it up here. We got to get the cloak. We have to get Rita's nacho dip.
Yes.
We got to get a couple of other things up here as the Jacksonville State offense is trying to get something going. 6 drives, 2 3-and-outs, 2 turnovers. Average third down distance has been 7.8 yards as Tyler Huff and Andrew Paul trying to generate something deep in their own territory.
This offense starts with the ability to run the ball, and they haven't been able to do this. It's Coastal Carolina defensive line, to give them credit, they have been shutting down the run game thus far, which has been stalling out this offense.
A lot of praise for number 99, Sawyer Gorham-Welch. They were able to really seal up that defensive line with a lot more size at 6'4", 307. This time, Huff trying to go up top and throws it out of bounds. Cam Vaughn was trying to race underneath it, and now another long third down situation. Brings up 3rd and 8.
That's my guy McDoom in coverage, and again, he's the top cover corner they have, and he's comfortable in man-to-man, and that does not faze them.
Empty backfield as Cleve Lubin hustles onto the field for the Coastal Carolina defense.
They're allowing him to sub here, and you see this empty set.
It's Huff. Huff loses the football, able to dive right back on it, takes the shot at the end, but just nothing going right. The term you could use is discombobulated, essentially, for this Jack State offense.
Yeah, not comfortable running it, not comfortable throwing it. Tyler Huff scrambles immediately, and he's not able to hold on to the ball, and he's fortunate that it bounces right back to him. He's in the pocket, he doesn't like what he sees, and what a great pass rush there by Cleve Lubin. Inside move and always searching for that ball.
Cleve Lubin, 2 huge defensive plays in this game, snuffs out the possible 3rd down rush, so deep in the end zone. Dawson just trying to get it downfield. Taylor, remarkable over-the-shoulder catch. That was a line drive punt, might have some room. Scampers to the 48-yard line, 48 yards on the punt. So coming into this game, Logan, a bit of a family affair as we were talking to the coaches, and it's very fascinating because for Jacksonville State, Rick Trickett is the offensive line coach, the father of Travis Trickett, the offensive coordinator, and their typical schedule of conversations didn't follow that schedule this week.
Yeah, usually father-son, they talk every single day. Travis has learned everything from his father, Rick. He's actually worked under Rich Rodriguez, but they said they weren't talking this week.
They might not talk after this game the way that this has been going so far, as Javen Simpkins checks back into the game at the running back position, put in a lot of work in the first couple of drives, this time patiently waiting for that hole to develop, but gets gobbled up on the backside as Garen Stansbury makes the stop.
This is the time where Jack State needs to have an answer. They need to come out and stop the run, with what they just did, and get Ethan Vasco off schedule. Make it hard on him. Make him have the game in his hands.
Stansbury, the transfer from Arizona State, a highly touted defensive lineman option in the transfer portal. Brings up 2nd and 8, as you mentioned. This time it's Bennett into the game, gets the handoff, a couple of nice cuts, and Bennett continues to churn those long legs and pick up 1st downs.
Bennett is a big back, 215 pounds. He has great vision and great strength to run through leg tackles. And leg tackle is not going to take him down.
13 yards for Bennett on the carry. Now up to 29 yards for the night.
They're seeing what they get out here in coverage. This could be something down the field if they like it. We're checking the play. I see all these DBs here in a line again. That's telling me this could be some type of man coverage. We scored a touchdown this earlier.
The check to the run. It's Bennett lowering the shoulder, knocks down a few defenders, and now you get the sense that Coastal Carolina starting to wear out this Jacksonville State defense.
When you're running that type of defense with all the guys in the box and the DBs on their own, you should be able to stop the run, and Bennett is running through that. So like I said, they're not able to take away anything right now.
We have a Jacksonville State defender down on the field, and listen, you and I, we have played early season games when the weather's warm. It's about that time of year when the cramps start coming in.
Pickle juice, ladies and gentlemen. If you never heard of it, get used to it. Drink some pickle juice. The high sodium, you're going to see a lot of cramps early in the season. It's hot. It's humid. You've played no preseason football. Drink some pickle juice to save your career.
Darrell Prater down on the field. Now they're checking out that left leg in a couple of different spots. And so they're going to help him up to his feet. And good to see him walk off underneath his own power. But it's such an adjustment for a lot of players here, Logan. When you've got those reserves that are now stepping up into starting roles, how do they play underneath the lights after you've been in camp all month long? That's something that these coaches are looking for as they try to figure out what their rotations are going to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of anxieties first game of the year. Like I said, these kids don't have a preseason. They've always been practicing against each other. So you don't know what you're going to get. And both coaches kind of mentioned that. They didn't know how it would happen, but we thought the conditioning issues would come with Coastal Carolina, but they've controlled the ball so much that Jacksonville State is the one that's having trouble staying on the field.
2nd and 3, 5:30 left in the first half. Vasco in the shotgun, Bennett to his right. They'll hand it off to Bennett for the 3rd straight time, and Bennett, I tell you what, one cut and a couple of strides, and he is just chewing up yards.
Yeah, he has elite vision, full zone read, able to press it one way to the left and make a cut and come all the way outside the right end. That is high level running back football, running back play.
Partner, you were talking about the time of possession difference. How about this? Coastal Carolina has hung on to the pigskin for 7 more minutes than Jacksonville State in this first half already, and just dominating the pace of this game. Christian Washington in the backfield. Vasco designed run, not going to fool anybody. J-Rock Swain has seen that plenty of times.
They bring pressure. They bring pressure here and force it to J-Rock Swain. Look at J-Rock Swain able to read that zone read. The quarterback is reading J-Rock Swain. You're supposed to give it if he stays, or you're supposed to pull it if he goes. And J-Rock Swain kind of plays coy there and makes Vasco make the wrong decision.
2nd and 13, one of the few times Jacksonville State has gotten this Coastal Carolina offense behind the chains. Vasco takes the snap. This time it's Bennett, and Bennett brought down. So back-to-back plays now when we're starting to see this Jacksonville State defense come alive.
Absolutely. J-Rock Swain with the big stop, and then it gets you 2nd and long. So what do you want to do as a coordinator for your quarterback? Get them 3rd and manageable, run the ball. Well, that doesn't work. Now you got 3rd and 13. This is not where you want Ethan Vasco, theoretically, right? So we're going to have a pass play here, obviously, maybe a screen, but he cannot turn the ball over here. You're in field goal position. Be smart with the ball. You don't always have to throw for touchdowns as a quarterback.
2 receivers in the tight end car to the far side of the field. Cameron Wright on the near side. Jabari Mack locked in on coverage on him. Vasco. The delayed run is going to scoop up a few more yards to make that field goal easier, or Coastal Carolina. But now a flag comes in, and that could change everything here, Logan.
That changes everything. Tricking comes in and calls a conservative play like we talked about to not turn it over and see what he can get. But that flag can give them a 1st down here, so we got to see what the call is. Conservative call on the offense, but I anticipated that.
After the play, personal foul, face mask, defense number 41. Penalties half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down. Number 15 does not have to leave the game.
Yeah, you're fighting for stops, and then you have a penalty when you do get one. Rich Rod's the equal opportunity yeller, so you're going to get on the sideline, get a yelling there, and come talk to Rich Rod. But you see the finish on the quarterback, and the extracurriculars at the end. Rips his helmet off. You can't do that.
Now fresh set of downs, but again, this defense able to get into the backfield. J-Rock Swain once again. But going back to that penalty, it's post-play. Quarterback's down already. Jacksonville State just has to continue to stop the self-inflicted wounds at this point.
It hurts your entire team. You know, your team fought to get off the field there. You're going to force them to 3, and now your whole team has to play more snaps. So there's no more selfish play than the extracurriculars after a snap.
Vasco and Bennett in the backfield. Vasco looking at the corner of the end zone, knocked off the route, but can't haul it in. We have a flag coming out, though. Looks like it might be a PI.
The guys, Zachary Poyser battling there. Vasco going to the slot matchup once again, and we'll see what we have as the call.
Pass interference. Defense number 18. The penalty occurred in the end zone. The ball be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
Poyser gets the flag, so 2 hard-to-swallow penalties here on this drive, and they're trying to go to their ace, Jamison Tucker. Almost brought it in.
You know, I really don't see the penalty there. There was a little bump, but he didn't interfere when he was trying to catch it. So I don't like the call there. That hurts. That's a tough job of being a DB. If you don't look back at the ball, you're always subject to a penalty, but I don't like the call there.
Coming from a DB like yourself, it's never pass interference, right? Vasco hands it off to Bennett. Bennett lunging forward. And Braden Bennett with the touchdown. And Coastal Carolina continues their first half dominance.
Braden Bennett, that's why you're here, brother. That's why I keyed you up pregame. You're a star player. You got that star blinking under you right now. We'll keep running the same plays as zone read and let you cut back and kind of pound it in where you see fit.
30-3, Coastal Carolina, and they're doing it by dominating the line of scrimmage. One more look.
Bennett makes that cut. He gets his pads downhill, and he's able to finish forward. And you look at the blocking. Guys are just falling on their back, and Coastal is just dominating in the trenches. We didn't see that coming in, but like I said, this is the first game of the season. We got to see how it plays on the field, and Coastal has came to play.
Officials will stop play here momentarily as Cade Hensley's getting set for the extra point. 2:20 left in the first half, and Coastal Carolina has been unstoppable on offense. Jacksonville State, though, not helping the cause with a couple of penalties. And the Chanticleers taking advantage of every opportunity. They pad the lead 31-3.
Penalties, turnovers, poor football by Jack State right now. They're kind of giving it to Coastal Carolina. If someone's beating you, make them earn it. Don't give it to them too easy. And I feel like Jack State just has not showed up just yet, and they've had too many unforced errors. But you can anticipate seeing that in the first game of the year. But Coastal Carolina has been the cleaner team thus far.
So where does Jacksonville State go from here? It's been a first half to forget for the Gamecocks here at home. Really struggling out of the blocks. And so let's get to our...
Number 4 for Coastal Carolina is now number 32.
So we have a jersey change for Coastal Carolina. Bryson Graves, number 4, is now number 32. But let's get to the 2-minute timeout. The clock will stop at the 2-minute mark. And now all of a sudden, every time you have a ball or a play that goes out of bounds, well, it's a first down, the clock's going to stop.
Yeah, you just got to keep shooting, man. Steph Curry, man, keep shooting. What else you going to do? You got a 2-minute warranty here to figure it out and keep it going. You have no other choice.
And Michael Petway will let that sail through the end zone. But coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, we've got Brent Stover, Kevin Carter, Danny Cannell, and Beanie Wells are in our New York studio. They will get you caught up on tonight's action in college football. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. Logan, I know you can smell it. The first full weekend of college football is upon us. We've got some excellent matchups. We've got a lot of games here tonight as well, too. It's always a magical time of the year.
Football is back. If you love football, you got it all the way to the holidays. So it's a great time, man. I'm excited.
I know your dad's excited. He watches anything football on TV, you were saying, year-round.
He's watching this right now. Shout out to my pops.
Logan Smothers back in the game at quarterback, dumps it off, and the first pitch and catch to Flip Rudolph. First time we've called his name, and that was, dare I say, the cleanest offensive look we've seen in a while from Jacksonville State.
A little flood concept, get it to the sideline. He wasn't able to get out of bounds, so they might not get this snap off. They're going to try to.
Smothers across the field. Rudolph going to draw the flag. They're trying to fight through some coverage.
Juan Powell might have been a little early.
Pass interference, defense number 0. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Saw Juan Powell celebrate there. Did you ever get caught up with that sometimes, thinking that you made a PBU or picking up a flag at that point? But we'll step aside and find out your answer here in a second.
That's the
Logan
2 minute
Ryan as Coastal
timeout.
Carolina dominant here in the first half. 31-3 lead for Coastal Carolina. 1:57 left here in the first half. Jacksonville State with possession. First down for them at their own 45-yard line. How about the offense for the Chanticleers? Ethan Vasco, impressive numbers. Braden Bennett, but Trey Taylor's been the home run hitter. 3 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown.
Trey Taylor's been the spark plug that we didn't foresee, and I don't think Jack State foresee. He's been the game changer here with his legs and his speed. The other two are playing great, but Trey Taylor has busted this game wide open.
Trey Stewart will be the running back for Jacksonville State. Smothers stays in at quarterback. Smothers, and it's Stewart on the wheel route, keeps his balance and completes the catch.
Now they're rolling. Now they're rolling. They got a completion on first down. They're on the ball. The clock is stopped. They're going to try to get a touchdown on this drive and try to get back in this thing slowly but surely.
18 yards on the completion. Empty backfield. 3 receivers to the near side of the field for Jacksonville State.
I think he checked to a slot fade here.
And a little bit of a miscommunication there as that pass was behind Flip Rudolph.
Miscommunication. I know they love Flip Rudolph, and it looked like he signaled something to him, and Flip didn't get the signal. Flip flipped the wrong way. So lucky that didn't turn to a turnover, but we have a 2nd and 10 here. We might get right back to it.
That 18-yard catch and run by Stewart was the longest play of the day for Jacksonville State. So that tells the story of how this offense has struggled. Smothers, quick slant. That's caught. Marcus Lacey moving the chains for the Gamecocks.
This is a good drive to get your quarterback in rhythm before halftime, which is always huge, and obviously set him up for the second half.
11-yard gain. This time the handoff. Stewart sprinting down the middle of the field. Finally brought down right near the first down marker. Gain of 9.
Stewart's come in. He looks extremely fresh, giving some juice on offense.
They rule it a first down. Gain of 10. Smothers going to keep it, trying to dart between 3 defenders. No luck as finally the brakes get pressed on this Jacksonville State offense.
It's a great job by Coastal Carolina kind of staying disciplined, but all they needed was a yard there, able to convert that. We have 1st and 10 with the clock running. They're going to allow both sides to sub, but trust me, Jacksonville State is mad about this. They want to be able to run a play already.
Andrew Paul checks in at running back. The transfer from Georgia. Talk about the size that he brings at the position. Under a minute left here in the first half. Smothers, pump fake, gets it. Lacey lunging for the end zone. They're going to call him down right at the goal line. A.J. Williams in on the tackle.
That was a great connection there. A back shoulder fade, and he's able to get down the one. They're going to do a tush push here.
Smothers trying to get pushed forward.
I don't think he got in.
No, not a lot of pushing there going on.
You don't see that play not work too often, and that was one of those times. Rich Rod kind of trying to force a timeout here.
So 29 seconds left here in the first half, and Rich Rodriguez upset about something there as he communicates to Smothers in that offensive line.
Yeah, you call this play. We see obviously the Eagles made it famous, and you usually get it, and you're not able to get any movement there on offense. That Coastal Carolina defensive line stands up.
That was a poor snap. So Smothers never got control of that. Brock Roby, the center, moved to center this season and has been trying to work on his snaps, and Rich Rod wanted the timeout much earlier than the 29-second mark. So he's up 2nd and goal.
You have 2 timeouts, so you can run it, you can pass it. It's all there. I anticipate a run based on this offense, and now you see the crowd starting to get into this. They need this score right here just for the environment.
The Gamecock faithful here at Amherst Stadium just want something to cheer about. Bad snap. Smothers has to hop on it. Barely brings it in, and disaster continues for this Jacksonville State offense.
Does Rich Rodriguez have any hair or any hair left? He might have pulled it all out by now.
It has been a first half of fumbles and miscues and penalties that have cursed Jacksonville State.
Offside, defense number 5. In the neutral zone at the snap. The kid was half the distance to the goal. The clock will start on the snap.
And you will never hear a louder applause for an offsides call near the goal line.
They needed that one, and so many people in the box. It's so hard to tell. I don't even know how you call it on the 1-inch line. Do you go back to the tush push here?
Well, they struggled with the snap last time. And you've got Andrew Paul, your 5'11", 215-pound back, but it looks like they're going to have Smothers keeping himself. Smothers hands it off. And that's going to be a touchdown for Jacksonville State, their first of the game. And finally, something to celebrate for the Gamecock offense.
The crowd is still alive. They get back into it. They put together a good drive, an efficient drive. We saw some mistakes there, but Coastal had more of them. And they're able to get on the board going to halftime to have some life here. You see the tush push in the works. Let's just hand it off there to the fullback and push him. The fullback push.
Cole Fuller, the redshirt junior from Gardendale, Alabama, gets the quick handoff. And Jacksonville State able to strike right before halftime. That's huge for just trying to see some of the momentum of this game.
Absolutely, from around the halftime, you go out there, you get some points. You're able to have something happy to go in and talk about, make some adjustments, and in the second half, you're going to snap the ball fast. So you will have enough possessions to make it up, but you better be way more efficient.
You got the sense that the no huddle, that was the best the Jacksonville State offense has looked this entire game. They were finally able to complete some passes on the outside, counter with the run game. Is that something that you imagine they look at here in the second half?
Absolutely. They're able to finally run the ball, which opens up some of the passes. And Logan Smother, who we talked about, reliable, consistent, dependable, was able to check some routes to his receivers. Easy passes, nothing too exotic, but he looked consistent. He looked reliable on that drive. They're going to need that Logan Smother in the second half.
Jacksonville State trails by 21. They had 9 plays, 75 yards that drive. Their previous 7 drives, 23 plays for just 56 yards. So the Jacksonville State offense looking like it used to last year on that last drive, and now they finally put some much needed points on the board right before halftime. Here's Ripa. And it's going to be brought out this time. Christian Washington trying to set something up here for Coastal Carolina just before halftime.
Yeah, you're Coastal Carolina. You come out here, you take the knee, you go in the halftime pretty happy. You drink some Teal Gatorade and you chill out a little bit. Rinse and repeat.
Coastal Carolina took advantage of all the miscues from this Jacksonville State offense. Had the interception, had the sack that forced the fumble. They scooped it up, they ran it in. They've had a couple of big plays. Taylor, 36-yard touchdown and a 57-yard reception, and the knee will bring us to the end of the first half. Coastal Carolina leading by 21. Tim Beck, the start of his second season, couldn't ask for a better start to this year. Rich Rodriguez of Jacksonville State, some adjustments, most of them coming on the offensive end.
Absolutely, they got to get it going. They got to run this tempo. They got to complete the easy passes. They got to do the basics.
3-score lead for Coastal Carolina, halftime here in Jacksonville, Alabama. You are watching college football on CBS Sports Network. Start of the second half here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Coastal Carolina with the 31-10 advantage. Jacksonville State will have the first possession of this second half. Welcome back in. Jordan Kent alongside Logan Ryan. And Logan, 21-point lead for Coastal Carolina. How did they create the separation there in the first half?
Turnovers. We talked about it. They took the ball away. They forced 2 of them. And they scored points off those turnovers, the red area. They made big plays, and they finished drives with touchdowns.
Let's go ahead and check out the first half highlights as Coastal Carolina came in and already started to make a statement.
Yeah, the first one here, Vasco to Taylor. That's too easy. Give me that. Wide open, 6 points. Then we have Clev Lubin with the scoop and score. Then get off of me. I'm going to reach and score that. And then Vasco with the rush. ran a play 3 times in a row to punch it in, and then we're going to give it to Bennett to power his way through. They're just overpowering Jack State right now.
Let's take a look at the Snickers first half stats, and what really jumps out, the total yards for Coastal Carolina against Jacksonville State, a team that was one of the top 10 defenses in the nation last year.
Yeah, they got pass yards, rush yards, total yards, tied in turnovers, first downs, time of possession. They're getting everything they want. Jack State, this is a reality check. You better show up and show out. Coastal Carolina is doing whatever they want right now, and they're going to continue to do it. They're not switching it up.
So Jacksonville State is set to receive the kickoff. They scored very quickly just before halftime. It was the first time the offense in that no-huddle look, an offense that averages a play every 20.3 seconds. It was the best they looked all half. We'll see if they repeat that coming here in the third quarter. Rich Rodriguez, I'm sure, a very animated talk in the locker room at halftime. But as far as the quarterback battle goes, we saw Logan Smothers, Tyler Huff. Really, Logan Smothers looked the most comfortable and confident that final drive of the first half.
Yeah, he hasn't played great, but he put it together in that last drive there. And some of that 6 completions, those 60 yards, most of that came in that last drive. And look, how you end halves and how you start them go a long way. They ended it the right way. Let's see how they started.
We talk about momentum and trying to get back into this game mentally. A touchdown here, any type of score, you feel like all of a sudden you have some wind underneath your wings here for Jacksonville State. The handoff to the outside, Trey Stewart continues to show some strong running. 4 yards on that initial carry.
He didn't play a lot in the first half, but he came in on that last drive and gave him a spark, so I'm not surprised to see him out here again.
We've seen 3 different running backs, Anwar Lewis, Andrew Paul, and Trey Stewart, all get a crack at it in the first half. 2nd and 6, but we also mentioned Sean Brown, the team's best weapons at tight end, yet to catch a pass. Smothers will hold it, dashes upfield, avoids a would-be tackler, and some smart running by Smothers.
Yeah, Smothers sets up a 3rd down here, and this is going to be crucial. They're going to be on the ball pretty quick. They need to convert this. What do? Do you go back and run it because it's 3rd and 3 and that's manageable? That's alive now. Or do you trust to put the ball in Smothers' hands?
3 yards on the carry. 3rd and 3, Smothers, the throw behind his receiver, was trying to get it to Michael Petway. And we've seen that a couple of times tonight, that pass just being off target.
It's not accurate enough. Petway, dynamic receiver in the slot, runs a slant, pitch and catch, and it's just behind him. Juan Powell's going to celebrate no matter what, but that is a bad execution.
And to your point, you've got a slant. If you're going to try and miss that pass, you want to miss it in front of him so he has a chance, but that is what the accuracy issues that we saw with Logan Smothers a little bit last year led to that stall in the drive. So another punt here for Jack Dawson, back to receive Trey Taylor. And Taylor's going to give this a chance, a little wiggle, but then leveled deep down the field, 48 yards on the punt, as the special teams for Jacksonville State and Baldwin getting in there to put a cap on it.
And the big question is, how do we get here, right? How is Jacksonville State behind 21 points? And we just saw it on that drive. Okay, Logan Smothers not creating enough with his legs, gets to a 3rd down, a 3rd and manageable, is not able to execute the simple details of a slant. Meanwhile, Ethan Vasco's coming out balling, 147 yards, a TD, and 30 more yards on the ground, and another TD. So he's been playing a much better at quarterback, and that's why the score reflects that.
Vasco's played quarterback the entire time. There are thoughts about Noah Kim, the transfer from Michigan State, getting some opportunities, but so far it's Javen Simpkins spinning forward on the first carry. 6 yards on the game.
Not a bad way to start the drive. We know he had the fumble in the first half, but he's back in it. And every time he's in it, they're giving Brandon Bennett a rest. We know what he can come in and power in when he gets close to the red zone.
And one thing we didn't point out, that graphic at halftime, the time of possession, nearly 2-to-1 ratio. Coastal Carolina, they have dominated possession of the football. When you slow the game down, put a lot of pressure on the opposing defense as Simpkins trying to find a hole, bounces it to the left, picks up the first down, and some wise running by the sophomore. 8-yard gain.
Simpkins has great vision there, and he's able to fall forward. And we know that they're a spread offense, but they have no need to go fast anymore. They're up enough scores. They can take their time and make sure they have the right play, a play that they like at the line of scrimmage. And and kind of pick and choose how they want to go. They're controlling the tempo of the game.
Bennett comes back into the game at running back. 3 receivers to the far side of the field. Tight end Kane Barong there on the left-hand side of the line. Vasco thought about it, holds on to it. Tough pass across the middle, threads the needle. Excellent catch made by Cameron Wright.
Yeah, they had the shot dialed up there, and Vasco really wanted it. He keeps looking at it, No, it's not there. I'm going to take the safe throw. We have the lead. Get it to Wright. Very good catch there, and you're able to get a second and manageable.
Second catch of the game for Wright, 8 yards, brings up 2nd and 2. Vasco over 150 yards passing in this game already. Fakes the handoff, throwing it down to the streaking tight end, and Barong can't reach it. Just outside his grasp.
They set it up perfectly there, the fake to Braden Bennett. The tight end sneaks out, he is wide open, and we just missed it. And we call this play on 2nd down because Jack State is not expecting that, and Vasco knew he missed one there.
It's also the timing. It's one thing in practice and another thing to get into the game when you're trying to get the timing on these throws down. 3rd and 2, Vasco will keep it. Follows the lead blocker, and it's Barong that springs a hole open for him, and it's another 1st down for Coastal Carolina after the 4-yard rush.
The fake toss to Bennett, he's such a threat, you got to respect it. Then Vasco comes downhill. We know he's a big athletic runner, and that's a great play call there by Trickett.
1st and 10 at their own 47, and it's been a nice mix of pass and run here for Coastal Carolina. 155 yards through the air, 162 on the ground so far this evening.
You see Coastal going a much slower tempo in this half. They know they have the lead.
Vasco again, another designed run. First tackler misses, and Vasco, determined, dives forward, picks up 6 yards.
This is the quarterback power play that he scored a touchdown on earlier. We talked about he ran it 3 times in a row. It's still in their arsenal. It's still in their bag, and they're going to run it when they need 5 yards because Jack State has not proved to be able to stop that play just yet.
And so much of this game, you have to give a lot of credit to the offensive line for Coastal Carolina. There was a lot of talk about this defensive front for Jacksonville State, what they did last year. It's been the offensive line for the Chanticleers that has dominated this game. Play action, Vasco this time. Down the field, has a man open, catch is made. Brought down at the 2-yard line. 46 yards, Malik Mega hauls it in.
2nd down is the shot down here, and they do a play action fake, buy some time, and you see Mega with a long strider, big guy, 6'4", lay it up nicely for him. Vasco's best throw of the night.
1st and goal, Vasco will keep it himself. Stop though, swarming is that Jacksonville State defense, brings up 2nd down.
In first by number 11, McRae.
Coastal Carolina on the ball right away, trying to run the same play again, the quarterback power. Jack State with a stop here.
McRae in on the stop. It feels like Jacksonville State just trying to force a field goal at this point. You're going to feel pretty good coming off the field because you've been gashed by the big plays.
Yeah, it's been unorganized, undisciplined, too many big plays given up, and you really need to stop here for morale.
Vasco will check the line of scrimmage. 2 seconds left on the play clock. The handoff to Bennett. Bennett marches forward, and another touchdown for Coastal Carolina. They push the lead to 27.
No check needed. When Braden Bennett is near the goal line, he is going to find a way to get in. I gave you the Le'Veon Bell comparison earlier. He's able to run through tackles, he's able to finish falling forward, and we know when he gets close, that's the man that's going to punch it over the goal line.
Kate Hensley to attempt the extra point.
Braden Bennett, 2nd touchdown of the night for him. Cade Hensley, extra point is good. It is a 4-touchdown lead for Coastal Carolina, and Ethan Vasco and his receivers continuing to cash in on the big-time plays. Sets it up for the easy touchdown afterwards. But Ethan Vasco, nothing but smiles as Coastal Carolina in complete control on the road here in Jacksonville. 38-10 advantage for Coastal Carolina. 9:11 left here in the third quarter as the Chanticleer is in full control. But Logan, they're doing this with 65 new players on the roster this year.
34 of them being transfers. The portal be good to me. They didn't know how this was going to play out. A lot of new guys. They didn't know who the quarterback was going to be, who the receivers are going to be. That does not matter. It looks like it's working. Coaches are smiling on the sideline, having a great time here tonight.
Coastal Carolina went 8-5 last year, closed out the season with a victory in the Hawaii Bowl over San Jose State. And this is a program, keep in mind, back in 2020, 2019, had some runs where they were a top 25 ranked team, and the offense was rolling. There's another touchback for Liam Gray, and the quarterbacks were a big conversation coming into this game. The coaches were very coy about who would get the start. For Jacksonville State, it's been a lot more Logan Smothers. He's 6 of 11 for just 60 yards. The surprise has been Ethan Vasco and how he has been able to accumulate 200-plus yards through the air against this Jacksonville State defense.
Yeah, these are the reliable guys. We had a feeling they could go here. The 200 passing yards, I think we didn't expect, but they're able to take these shots because the running game has worked. They're able to take these shots on second down and get these big plays.
Smothers back in at quarterback. Andrew Paul will be the running back. Smothers designed run, scampering to the sideline, has to slide as several bodies go crashing near that tent. In fact, broke the tent leg, by the way, did the Coastal Carolina defender. And so Logan Smothers will get set for second down as they try to repair the shade on the sideline for Jacksonville State.
Nice little tent there. I don't know if it's supposed to provide shade, but it's a night game. I don't know why you need the tent.
I think more so privacy. There's a lot of conversation sometimes with those position groups, and you got some fans sitting right there. And I'm sure you experience all these years playing football that fans sometimes aren't the most courteous when you're on the bench.
Well, hopefully your home fans are. Them tents aren't working. You might need to take them down.
So 2nd and 6 after Smothers picks up 4 yards and immediately pressured, has to just chuck it. No time whatsoever for that play to develop down the field as busting through the line was Emmanuel Johnson.
Coastal Carolina and DC Nybar talked about how he wanted to be aggressive, and he brought a pressure there and got Logan Smothers completely uncomfortable in the playoff track.
We've seen a little bit of miscommunication with this Jacksonville State offensive line. We highlighted Clay Webb, the left guard. That is a legit NFL prospect, but so far the line has struggled to protect and get things going as the screen pass to the outside, ball pops free. And that brings up 4th and 6 for Jacksonville State. And just, you said it earlier, there's nothing that's really on rhythm. Everything feels rushed.
Yeah, when you do a turbo offense, some 3 and outs are really quick. And now you're punting it right back to Coastal Carolina. You possess the ball for less than 1 minute, and Rich Rod is just not happy about it.
How about that? Jacksonville State 0 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. Their average length of time on each drive is under a minute in this game. So Jack Dawson back to punt again. Taylor to receive. End over end kick, fair caught. The 34-yard line. So Coastal Carolina will try to tack on to what feels like an insurmountable lead when we come back. Next Sunday, the 2024 NFL on CBS season kicks off with a slate of great matchups, including Pats Bengals and Trevor Lawrence taking on Tua. Now that's a CBS Sports Sunday. Next week on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. You played against both of these cats here, Logan, so give me the scouting report.
Tua, extremely accurate, high-powered offense. Trevor Lawrence, a winner in college. He's going to have to do it in the playoffs. Both those men, extremely rich human beings. I'm not going to check their pockets, but they got some new money.
So you can't be this good in your first game. You're going to ditch me for an NFL booth probably like 2 weeks into this season.
We're going
here
together, brother. We all eat.
Here's the handoff. It's Christian Washington bouncing around, and we have a flag on the play and helmets on the ground.
These helmets have been popping off.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense number 42. 15-yard penalty. Number 64 does not have to leave the game.
They're not popping off. These helmets aren't just popping off by themselves. Hodges rips it off, and he doesn't mean to, doesn't intend to. He's trying to do his job to set the edge, and again, that's just a night it's been for Jax State. Unforced penalties, unforced errors, that's the 15-yard gain there, but again, I don't think intentional, just part of football.
So makes it 1st and 10 for Coastal Carolina from their own 49. Ethan Vasco continues his dazzling performance this evening. 9 of 16, 201 yards. And now we have another flag.
False start. Offense number 17. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's the receiver, Cameron Wright, and I tell you this much. False starts in the receiver room. We're going to lead to some running in practice later.
Absolutely. First game here, you know, there's going to be some mistakes, but haven't been too costly yet for Coastal Carolina.
Makes it 1st and 15. The handoff, Washington trying to lead the troops forward, and another helmet falls off. I believe that is Zovan Lindsay again losing his lid. Brings up 2nd down.
Zovan got a nice haircut, lined up. The dreads are looking nice. Ooh, nice catch. He just wants to show the hair off. I'm not mad at him.
Did you ever lose your helmet in a game?
Plenty of times. Yeah, you know, sometimes I didn't tighten it too tight as you would think. Sometimes I don't even play with a mouthpiece, believe it or not.
Really?
That's how efficient I can be as a tackler. Kids do not do that at home.
You still got a full mouth of 32 as well. That's impressive, Fred. 38-10 lead for Coastal Carolina. 2nd and 13 this time. Washington lowers the shoulder, spinning, twisting, turning. Brings up 3rd down as Jacksonville State needs a much-needed stop here, but we have a defender down on the field in pain.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina does not have to get too exotic at this point. They can run the ball, try to drain the clock, be as safe as they can. Turnovers are the only way this game can flip.
Believe that is Pat Taylor that is face down on the turf right now. Training staff tending to him. We'll step away and we'll give you an update as soon as we have one here in Jacksonville. (38-10) lead for Coastal Carolina. Nice sight there. Pat Taylor back up on his feet after being tended to before the break. Taylor, the redshirt senior from Johns Creek, Georgia, starts at that nickel position. You see a lot of teams are now starting to match up nickel against these spread offenses to try and match speed for speed.
You absolutely have to, and the nickel's a unique position. I played it most of my career, and you got to be able to tackle, you got to be physical in the run game, you got to be able to cover. So you absolutely need a nickel and a good one to face these high-octane spread offenses.
Braden Bennett exits the backfield, takes a wide split. Ethan Vasco now all by himself, takes the snap. It's going to be a screen to the tight end. Kane Barong gets the completion.
And I know they're absolutely excited to have him back, coming off an injury last year, I believe a knee injury. So he's a big leader on the team. They love their tight end room because of him. He's back playing after a long recovery. So, Kane, I've been in your position. I know how hard rehab is, so congratulations coming back and almost getting a first down there. So, Coastal's going to punt it away here, but they're just playing safe.
4th and 1. Sebafundi back to punt. Flip Rudolph to receive for Jacksonville State. Fair catch made at the 11. So a stop for the Jacksonville State defense. Now an opportunity for their offense to get going here in just a moment. But before that, let's go ahead and send it back to the studio for an update. Hey, thank you so much. So McCall was the stud for Coastal Carolina last year. High-octane passing attack. He transfers to NC State. And that's a big question mark for Coastal Carolina this offseason. Who will be the quarterback? Ethan Vasco has been terrific here tonight. On the other side, a lot of questions on offense as we now have another quarterback switch with Tyler Huff in the game. Huff spinning away. Instant pressure felt, and another breakdown, Logan.
Yeah, Rich Rodriguez is kind of switching up, and he puts Tyler Huff in, who is the better passer. He does transfer from Furman, but he just hasn't been able to execute the offense today. Some mishaps, a bad snap exchange there through the whole timing of the playoff.
Loss of 5. 2nd and 15 at their own 5. Huff lets it rip, intercepted near the sideline. Christian Conyer picks it cleanly out of the air.
Jacksonville State, just no rhythm, mistake after mistake. Tyler Huff trying to force it there, and Conyer jumps up and grabs it, and he gets the turnover cloak.
The cloak has had a lot of uses this evening.
It has. It's waterproof as well. You see the water spraying all over it. So Conyer here, a corner who had his eyes back in the backfield and saw the overthrow. Corners, if you're watching this, it's always great in zone coverage to look at that quarterback, and you're able to make plays on balls like that, or just missed throws, bad time throws.
It felt like Huff already decided where to throw that no matter what. Simpkins, the running back, trying to get free, gets wrapped up, but some more laundry lands on the field.
Holding, offense number 33, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
So rare penalty on the offense for Coastal Carolina.
You know, I was going to talk about, I was once in a game down in a Super Bowl, down 25 points in the third quarter, and we came back and won. But I don't see Tom Brady trotting out here tonight, so Jack State's going to have to do it some other way.
What was that halftime conversation like?
We were past the speeches, okay? You just got to come out and play better. Yelling and screaming is not going to come back from 25, 28 points. You got to play better, and that's what we're able to do, and Jack State needs to do that as well.
Vasco, quick throw. It's the tight end Barong once again, so back-to-back completions for him on the last 2 drives.
Yeah, Ethan Vasco is able to kind of check these plays at the line of scrimmage. They had another shot lined up there. He didn't like it. He takes the easy access throws. Throw to who is open, throw where there is space. Being a quarterback is, don't overcomplicate it.
It was interesting, our conversation with offensive coordinator Travis Trickett. When we asked him, what are you looking for from the quarterback position? He said, we want our quarterback to be decisive, and that's really an excellent way to describe the way that Vasco's played tonight.
Absolutely, he's taking care of the ball for the best that he can, and he's operated the offense well. He's taking the shots downfield when they're available, and when they're not, he's not forcing the ball. He's protecting the lead, and this is what they need from a quarterback.
Simpkins the carry, 3rd down coming for Coastal Carolina. You notice it's been a pedestrian pace this second half for the Chanticleers. Christian Washington, the revolving door of running backs continues for Coastal Carolina on 3rd and 11.
I see these DBs in a straight line here coming over, running in man-to-man.
The handoff to Washington. Trying to get to the edge, quickly met, nicely contained there by Pat Taylor. That'll make it 4th down.
And I don't think we should be, you know, concerned or confused by the positive or conservative play calling. No need to force anything here. You have a huge lead, and run the ball. You have field goal position. Get a field goal and see if Jack State can.
Cade Hensley to step up for a 39-yard field goal coming into this game. 27 was his career long. He already hit from 49 earlier in the night. This time from the left hash. Draws it perfectly in, and Coastal Carolina builds the lead to 31. It's 41-10. We'll step aside as the home team still searching for solutions.
Brent Stover in New York, apologies for technical difficulties on our last update. Grayson McCall and NC State trailed Western Carolina in the 4th, but they reeled off 2 quick touchdowns, and now they lead 31-21. Back out to you guys.
Thank you so much. We've got a 41-10 game here. Coastal Carolina has came into Jacksonville, has had no issues whatsoever moving the ball. The defense has been stout. They've forced 3 turnovers, and now in total control of this one as they get set to kick off. Liam Gray will kick it. Michael Petway back to receive alongside Trey Stewart for Jacksonville State. And I go back to the offense here, Logan. They have just been methodical in the way they've been able to move the ball. Ethan Vasco picking and choosing his spots. And they've felt really no resistance on that line of scrimmage. But as far as the quarterback play for Jacksonville State, that's been the biggest issue for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, they have not been in control. I talked about that fast car they have, but it's not starting right now. It's mistakes, interceptions, bad reads, forced fumbles, ball all over the place, mishaps. They're just not able to get out of their own way. That's been the issue today. And they're giving the ball away, and it just, Rich Rodriguez is not happy about it. He has a platoon of quarterbacks, and the question is, if you have two, do you have any? And right now, just because they have two, it looks like they have none, because none of these guys have played well enough to keep them in the game.
Combined 7 for 18. Huff still looking for his first completion of the game. This time sails it over Sean Brown, the tight end. Couldn't get free from Braylon Ryan, who's in coverage.
Yeah, Sean Brown is a very good player on the Mackey watch list. It's not accurate, though, to give him a chance. These quarterbacks need to give these guys a chance. There's good playmakers on Jack State.
2nd and 10, and one thing to keep an eye on, the rushing yards for Jacksonville State. They have ran for 100 yards in 24 of 25 games underneath Rich Rodriguez, as Huff will pick up a few more to help out the cause. Brings up 3rd down after the 9-yard gain.
Coastal Carolina knew they had to stop the run today, and they've been doing a great job of that so far.
Quick snap, the handoff, Lewis. Stopped short, so that'll bring up 4th down. I imagine you go for it for Jacksonville State.
I don't know. You're really backed up here, but you're not able to get a yard. 1 yard is all you need. You're not able to get that, but Rich Rodriguez is on the ball, and he like you said, he has no chance, no choice.
4th down. Huff met near the 1st down marker. Looks like it was enough to get it. That'll move the chains. But it took everything, essentially emptying the tank there for Jacksonville State.
Absolutely. Jack State needs to get on track. They need a big play. They need something to spark this offense.
Just over 2 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Just 61 yards total in the passing game, 73 on the ground for Jacksonville State. This is a team that was top 3 in the nation in rushing yards last season. The cross across the middle. That is caught near the perimeter. Jacob Barrick, the other reserve tight end. A nice catch in the first completion of the game for Huff.
And that was a play with some rhythm and timing and an accurate throw, and now they're back on the ball.
9 yards, brings up 2nd and 1. Huff, the keeper, trying to bounce to the outside. Miles Woods coming up to make the tackle.
Enough to get a 1st down, a fresh set of chains here for Jack State, and that's what they're fighting to do. And Coastal's not sweating it. They're protecting their lead. They might play a little bit softer because of the score.
Andrew Paul steps into the running back position. Clev Lubin again subbing in, has scooped up a fumble already for Coastal Carolina. Huff rolling, redirecting traffic this time. Flips it. And that is Brock Rechsteiner, a few yards after the catch as well, too. And now some momentum for this Jacksonville State offense.
Yeah, they got something going, and they need to. We know Huff is the better passer of the two, and maybe he just had to get the jitters out. It's his first game at this level, so cut him a break.
31 yards on the completion. And a miscommunication on the mesh. It looks like Huff having to dive on it.
And that has been Huff's Achilles heel all night. Handling the ball, simple handoffs, simple plays, something you've been practicing all spring, all summer. He just hasn't been able to do it consistently enough tonight under the lights.
Makes it 2nd and 12. One more look here.
And Rich Rodriguez said this. He said, who can play under these lights? We know we haven't seen this yet, and this is a simple play. It's just not executed.
So Lewis and Paul, both tailbacks, flanking Huff. The handoff this time to Lewis. Lewis skates to the outside, dragged out of bounds. That'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. Coastal Carolina extending their lead. 1 quarter left before the Chanticleers can try to claim victory. It's been their defense that's led the way all night long. Jacksonville State trying to get something going here on offense. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico. Start of the fourth quarter here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Coastal Carolina with the 31-point advantage. Jacksonville State with the ball at this moment, but you look at the numbers through three quarters, and Coastal Carolina, the 398 yards, you can't necessarily pin entirely on the Jacksonville State defense.
When the offense goes 3 and out so quickly, it puts the defense on the field a lot more. You don't get the chance to rest. You don't get a chance to recover and make adjustments. So it's not all just the defense tonight. It's obviously both sides.
3rd and 6. Jacksonville State 0 for 8 on 3rd down so far in this game. And it's going to be Lewis trying to lunge forward. That'll be the first 3rd down conversion of the game. And that brings us to tonight's Red Zone, which is brought to you by Verizon. That tells the story, too, for this offense, Logan. You get your first 3rd down conversion in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you break that seal in the 4th quarter. That's not what you anticipated, but here they are. Let's see what they do with it.
Lewis gets it again, trying to spin out of the grasp, but hog-tied by Will Whitson.
Will Whitson pointing at his nameplate. He has showed up tonight. He's made some big plays, and they know if you're going to run on the last play, you can't come back and beat us twice with that. They bring the pressure, and Will Whitson's there to stop him.
2nd and 11. Tyler Huff, this has been his best drive of the game, rolling to the right, reading the defense, tries to fire a strike. Sean Brown couldn't catch the fastball, brings up 3rd down.
I got to highlight the coverage tonight by Coastal Carolina. I mean, they haven't made it easy. These receivers have been covered. We've seen the interceptions by the cornerbacks, and just great coverage around the board.
3rd and 11. 2 receivers split out to each side. Huff, quick throw, caught by Cam Vaughn, but still not enough for the first down. And now at 4th down, I imagine Rich Rodriguez will decide to just get some points and kick the field goal.
That is not what I thought Rich Rod would do. I thought he would go for it there. You need touchdowns at this point. But I think right now he just needs to see points on the board. He just needs to see some good sign of a drive and go out and try to get a defensive stop.
So Garrison Ripa made one earlier, this time from the right hash for the left-footed kicker. Ripa tees it off, and Jacksonville State now has 13 points. The lead, though, for Coastal Carolina at 28 as Tyler Huff completes his finest drive of the evening. $13-10 left in this ball game. 41-13 lead for Coastal Carolina. Let's revisit the keys to the game, brought to you by Fresh Pets. Logan, you're a dog guy. Revisit these here.
I talked about these earlier. Coastal Carolina, you got to come out and create turnovers tonight. Okay, we got 3 of them, and we scored points off them. Last year, we were one of the worst teams in the red area at scoring touchdowns. 4 trips in the red zone, 3 touchdowns. Jacksonville State, what else can go wrong? Let's set the tempo. Well, in order to do that, you need to convert 3rd downs to keep the ball 1 of 10 on 3rd down, 10%. Dominate the line of scrimmage. A top rushing team, 85 to 185. Nothing going right. Jacksonville State tonight.
Washington will signal the fair catch. And the other thing for Coastal Carolina, they've been able to connect on all their home run opportunities, especially on offense. And you notice a couple of things about the Jacksonville State defense during those big plays.
Yeah, Jacksonville State's defense has been all out on stopping this run, and that's making it easy for the offensive coordinator and the quarterback to notice of when to take the shots. And when they took the shots, there was miscommunication. The first touchdown tonight was miscommunication, led to a wide open touchdown. So miscommunication and a predictable defense has not worked out well for them.
Ethan Vasco, Coastal Carolina, they've controlled the ball for nearly 29 minutes out of this game. Christian Washington will be the back. Will get the handoff, quick sprint up the field, and gets a chunk of yardage on 1st down.
Coastal Carolina is going to run this ball and crank this clock as much as they can, take their time, protect this lead, try to get out of here safely.
You give a lot of credit to this offensive line, nearing 200 yards rushing for Coastal Carolina. And this was a Jacksonville State defense that was very good against the run last season. Washington this time Able to pick up the first down.
We talked about Jack State, the change of coordinator, right? New defensive coordinator, trying to keep similar schemes. We talk about terminology, how hearing a new word, especially early in the season, can be different for players. Consistency, blown coverage, stopping the run, none of it is where their marks were last year.
Jacksonville State was only outrushed twice last year, and it lost both of those games. That was the Liberty and New Mexico State in Conference USA action in 2023. Here's Washington. 3 straight carries for him.
And I will say, Alabama has been great to us. Jacksonville, Alabama has been amazing. The food has been good. The people, so welcoming. Had a great time, but these bugs are absolutely huge. I am ducking and diving up here.
Well, we got to keep you on your toes your first game, and when we were going around town, it was unbelievable. I would tell people, you picked off Tom Brady's last pass as a Patriot, and just the doors that were open, these social circles we were allowed into in our brief 72 hours, I think they even gave you the key to the city, my friend.
No key to the city just yet. But we've had some great hospitality, a great city. We learned a lot about it. And I even saved your life when your car broke down, I believe.
Yeah, I got a flat tire right after the coaches' meeting. And just like any great defensive back that has you when things get blown out, you were right there to scoop me up. And the chemistry developed immediately at that moment.
Right on time. Luck is better than talent. I just was in the right place, right time.
Little did you realize I'm now hiring you as my personal chauffeur for our 12 games together, as another first down gets scooped up by Coastal Carolina. But I've got to ask you, having played on the field for all these years at that NFL level, you now step up. This view, what do you see differently from your perspective?
Well, I'm able to see it from a coach's perspective, right? Almost like I'm playing a video game. I'm able to see both sides from up top, and you're able to see how the game slows down for me. It simplifies because I see the bigger picture. And it's a lot of fun being up here, and I get to give a player's point of view, right? I'm fresh off the field and how I see it, how I would do it, and how I would call it. So hopefully you guys enjoy it, and it's been a fun night. I learned a lot tonight.
Well, Logan Ryan, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 11 years in the NFL, one of Rutgers' finest as well, I must say. Stepping into the booth and just making it look easy like you did essentially everything else on the field. And you played for a variety of coaches and defenses, and you've been in that situation where you get a new coordinator or you're trying to learn some new terminology, and there's an adjustment, as we've talked about.
Early season woes. I don't think this is what Jack State will be all year. They're too good for this. But there are times where you come out at the start of the season flat. There are times it looks like the world is falling on you and everyone gives up on you, but you just got to stay together as a team.
Darren Lloyd, 4th string running back, now getting a couple of opportunities in the game. And you look at all these players, there's still opportunities to figure out the depth chart and who's going to be called upon when injuries inevitably happen throughout the season. And it's great to get these opportunities in these live game moments.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no preseason, right? This is the first time these coaches are seeing them. So these starters aren't set. I mean, Coastal Carolina has 65 new players. I believe Jack State has 50 or some. So see running back here, tries to make a jump cut, not so fast. Hughes is still playing hard. He's playing for something.
Well, for any team that's part of Conference USA or the Sun Belt, if you are Coastal Carolina, the new college football playoff has presented more of an opportunity than ever before to get to the highest level of the postseason, as we see an excellent pass and catch, scampering to the end zone for the touchdown. Jamison Tucker, the captain, a 36-yard touchdown catch, and Coastal Carolina continues to pour it on.
Jamison Tucker, man, he has deep speed, high yards per game type of guy. Their most reliable, their best receiver. And they go back. They go back to this RPO concept. It's a run until it's a not, it's a slant. And Jack State has everybody in the box. That corner has no help. He's on the biggest island in the world because you're just trying to stop the run, and it's there for him all night, as we saw.
Extra point is good. 35-point advantage for Coastal Carolina. The Chanticleers. It's a rooster that rules the hen house. They are the top bird tonight as they are cruising here in the 4th. Now let's switch to easy mode for the Geico play of the game. Logan, what do you see here?
Let's talk about it, baby. RPO. I'm going to teach you some football here. It's a run-pass option. This running back has a run play here. But when I see all these guys in the box at quarterback, I know I have this slant route open all day. Let's run it here. All these guys are crowding a line of scrimmage. I put the ball in the belly, and I throw this slant right across the corner's face. A lot of green grass for Jameson Tucker to run, and he likes that all day, baby. That's an RPO. You can run that at high school, college, and the NFL. That is not going anywhere. That is a staple of football nowadays.
So what's the adjustment for the defense? Because you've been gashed through the air, 249 yards from Ethan Vasco. How do you best defend against that?
When you're going all out to stop the run, that's what they're doing now with this score. I hated this position as a DB because then I can get beat because I don't have a lot of help behind me. As a defensive back, I need to stay inside the receiver. I can't let him beat me across my face there. I have no help there. So if I'm going to get beat, I'm going to get beat on a different route than a slant route. And that's just, you learn that with reps. You learn that with intelligence. You learn that at a higher level.
Flag on the return as the officials will meet near the 27-yard line to discuss.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 82. 10-yard penalty for the end of the run, first down.
All right, let's take you back to the studio for an update.
Guys, Colorado's been in a tight one with North Dakota State in the fourth, but Travis Hunter, ridiculous catch right here. He's got 7 receptions for 132, a career high, 3 scores, Buffs up 31-20 mid-fourth.
Logan, I know you play a lot of NCAA football. Have you gotten Travis Hunter underneath your control yet?
You know what? I've been playing a lot of Jacksonville State, Coastal Carolina, prepare for this game, but I'm about to after these 3 touchdowns.
Well, this offense for Jacksonville State currently the fewest amount of yards on offense as the mishandle for DeMarcus Lacey has to try and make water into wine, and no luck there. But the fewest yards since putting up 156 against UAB in the 2021 opener.
Yeah, they gotta check these guys' gloves, man. Might have soap on their gloves. The way they're dropping these balls, simple exchanges. I mean, you can't even predict this.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, offense number 6. Penalties half the distance to the goal, remains first down.
Not too often that you see the quarterback called for an illegal blindside block, but that is Tyler Huff. So he was just trying to help out his teammate.
I like that play. I mean, he's trying to show some grit out there. He's trying to help his receiver or running back out there. I mean, you know what? That's a penalty. They're going to review it, but, you know, at least he didn't quit. He's showing some effort.
So they're going to review this for Tyler Huff, I imagine for targeting, and all of a sudden it kind of simplifies your quarterback controversy for next week if it is called a targeting and not necessarily something people had on their bingo card was quarterback targeting in the fourth quarter.
Has the quarterback ever got a targeting call? We're going to challenge our stat guys on these.
D cleats, gotta say. One more look at it.
I'm impressed by it. You know, I mean, not a lot of pass yards, not a lot of touchdowns, one great block.
Gavin Ransaw is 6'3", 295. So Huff, listen, I get it as a quarterback. Defensive line's been chasing you all night. Anytime you get a chance to return the favor.
And Hansaw's going to have a tough time on the flight home. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
yes.
Like, it's all gravy for us at Coastal Carolina. We had a great game, but you got decleated by a quarterback? I can't let that live.
After review, the rule on the field is changed to an incomplete pass. The illegal blindside block will be enforced half the distance from the 15, remains first down.
So incomplete pass, illegal blindside block. Let's look at it one more time.
Interesting. It is a forward pass. So that is a pass, and that's an easy pass stat for quarterbacks and wide receivers. That's why it's incomplete. Now, getting a penalty on essentially would have been a dead play. That is interesting. I don't know how many times I've seen that.
That would have been fascinating if targeting was called, because essentially the play is dead right there when the ball hits the ground. Anything else that happens afterwards,
right,
it's a dead play.
But the whistle was not blown, so how do the players know the play's dead?
The good news for Huff, he gets to stay in the game. The bad news for Ransaw is that is going to be paused in the meeting room come Monday. Here's Huff, nice little pass and catch. Michael Petway, a clean catch, shakes free the defenders, and Petway has nothing but runway in front of him, and a touchdown for Jacksonville State, 93 yards.
Okay, Michael Petway, you're one of my guys when I play you on NCAA. I love you in the slot. You've been running this slant route all day. It's been behind you. It's been inaccurate. We got to get the ball in your hands, right? That's what we haven't been able to do today. A simple slant route. We put it right on his numbers, and he's able to do things with it after he catches it. And this is his offense. You got to get the ball to the playmakers. And Michael Petway is a playmaker. He hasn't got the ball tonight, but he got it there, and look what he did. 93 yards later, he's helping his team out.
Easily the longest play of the night for Jacksonville State. And Garrison Ripa makes it 48-20, but Tyler Huff, the connection with Michael Petway. Big time play for an offense that has struggled throughout most of the evening. Some signs of life with plenty of season in front of them. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Geico.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Walmart. We don't just have everything, we have your thing. By Rogue, don't weaken. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
These photos courtesy of Raquel Rodriguez, the daughter of Rich Rodriguez. She runs all the social media for Jacksonville State. Also designed the field. That is the old school Gamecock mascot. So they've decided to do this rebranding to be known as Jack State and really differentiate themselves from a lot of other teams in college football. Also picked out the uniforms from the catalog. And for Rich Rodriguez, listen, this is a tough night. Fortunately, you have something that might bring a smile to your face when you head home, because he has got two furry little companions, Roxy and Rambo. I'll let you guess which one's a little bit more rambunctious than the other one.
When I have a bad day at work, man, I want to come home to my dogs. They don't care what the score is tonight. Roxy and Rambo, Rich Rod, they'll be there for you tonight. Don't worry about it. Beautiful dogs. That is not hard edge. That is a little soft side of Rich Rod, which he might need after a night like tonight.
Well, Noah Kim, the transfer from Michigan State, who started the first 6 games of the year before missing the final 7 due to injury, makes his first appearance, and the handoff to Christian Washington as Washington gets bounced out of bounds. Kim, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Obviously a bit of a tumultuous year for Michigan State last year, but now gives them another option with experience at that quarterback position.
Yeah, we prepared to see him tonight. We didn't know what quarterback was going to go, but Ethan Basco obviously secured his job and did a great job tonight. And Noah Kim gets in and get a chance to play, so great circumstance for him. I know he's a great passer. He's a Michigan State transfer, and he gets some experience here tonight, which is good for him.
Completed 57% of his passes last year for Michigan State. Was Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week in Week 2 as Christian Washington gets brought down. His 5th year of college is Noah Kim. And we talked about the transfer portal for a lot of players, and an example of some guys that were recruited by that group of 4 that come down. Andrew Paul, the running back for Jacksonville State. You said there's something strategic about getting a chance to get some game film out there to really help yourself and give you an opportunity in your career.
I mean, both these programs came off great years last year. So if you're not playing at the school because, you know, for whatever reason, right, and you want to get some experience, it's not bad to come down, play, get a year of tape. Everything is year by year now in college, right? Whether you like it or not, it's been like that for coaches for years. They're hopping in the portal for years before they had a portal. So these players get a chance to go to a level where they can play at if they feel like that's best for them, and take that tape and then see where that goes next year.
It was fascinating. When we were talking to Tim Beck, he said, I was a coach for a long time before I finally became a head coach, and it's amazing how much the game has changed in the last couple of years. When we played, we had nil. Now the guys have NIL. And you've got tablets, you've got communication. So much has changed for so many of these coaches. They've had to be so quick to adapt to a landscape that seems like it hasn't settled yet.
Yeah, the coaches say every year it's a new team, right? 50 new players, trying to teach them what you do. But these kids understand the power of what they're worth, and they understand the power of football and the money that generates. So they're thinking more individually now. That's just life. And I don't know you can knock them. They're just trying to do what the rules allow them to do.
We have a Jacksonville State defender down, finally sitting up. That's Prater, number 96, Darrell Prater, the redshirt sophomore from Fort Payne, Alabama. But Rich Rodriguez talked about it as well, too. The culture that they have at Jacksonville State, we make sure players fit our culture. It's not the other way around. We want to treat everybody the same way. And I think a lot of teams that can quickly bring in players and get them to buy into the culture and play consistently, those are the teams that we're seeing have the most success in what is essentially free agency in college football, where the rosters look so different every year.
Yeah, Rich Rod's been around a long time. He's coached some NFL prospects and great players, so he's not changing his culture for anybody.
Let's send you back to the studio for another update.
Tell you this, guys, North Dakota State not going away in Boulder. Cam Miller has had a big night, takes off for a 20-yard touchdown run here. They did fail on the two-point conversion, 2:19 to play. Colorado 31 and the Bison 26.
And you would guess at this point they'll go for 2.
So Colorado again, some early season fireworks and drama in their games. This game tonight, not so much. Coastal Carolina has dominated on offense, and the handoff, and nothing but green grass. Darren Lloyd finally brought down at the 10-yard line. But these offensive linemen in the running game just gashing Jacksonville State.
Unbelievable job tonight running the ball. Darren Lloyd downhill. We have these two pullers coming over, and he just got speed. He's got an open lane, no one in front of him. Again, it could be a miscommunication. It could be that Jacksonville State has so many people at the line of scrimmage that there isn't a second level to the defense.
52 yards on the carry, and now Noah Kim has got his team in the red zone. So Noah Kim will try to punch it in for Coastal Carolina. They try to eclipse the 50-point mark, which is something that not a lot of teams can say they've done against Jacksonville State and this defense they've had over the last couple of years.
Absolutely. I've been playing football for a lot of years. I can't tell you many times I gave up 50 points. That is going to be a rough meeting tomorrow from every position group. You do not want to be in their shoes tomorrow morning.
I was about to say, if you're on the field, nobody's scoring 50 points, right? Here's the handoff and quickly wrapped up. You were sharing a really cool story, though, about your time playing against Tom Brady and what he was reading and what helped you become a better player, and really how there's so many little details that can help these guys improve their game and get to the next level.
Yeah, playing with and against Tom Brady helped me a lot as a player, and he had the nuances of every defender on the field. If you could have one tell from one guy, he knew exactly what to check to, and I would play against him, and he knew that I was blitzing because I didn't look at him. I didn't want to look at him. I didn't want to give it away. He's like, yeah, you didn't look natural. You didn't look at me enough. You normally do. So then I had to learn how much I looked at him when I blitzed. So he made me a better player. He made me think about all the tendencies I've possibly given away.
Noah Kim fakes the handoff, racing towards the sideline, has to quickly get out of bounds and took a hard shot against the concrete wall right there. There's not a lot of space between the sideline and the wall. And you see Kim was holding that right hip and a little bit of a limp. No padding right there as well, too.
Yeah, this is the hardest tackle tonight by Jack State, is the wall right there. Bang, right there in the side of the hip. That is a soft spot. That kind of hurts. I know that hurts. That's a dead leg right there.
See Noah Kim immediately. That's how I look getting out of bed every morning. Welcome to post-NFL career life, Logan. You have so much to look forward to, my friend.
I'm not there yet.
3rd and goal for Coastal Carolina. Kim bouncing around, trying to spin. He'll be wrapped up, and that brings up 4th down with just 3 minutes left in this ball game.
Noah Kim taking care of the ball. Not going to do anything too crazy.
Now, how does it feel for you? I know you've had a couple of seasons where you joined teams late in the year, but to be officially done, How does this time of year feel for you now?
Man, it's amazing, man. It's new time. I've always been in a training camp since I was 8 years old, so I got to see what the month of August was like. That was pretty cool. And I'm excited. I accomplished my goal as a player. I won championships. I've made money.
And speaking of money, Noah Kim, a dart to Seneca McKee, drops a dime, and Coastal Carolina 54 points now. Seems like no matter who's underneath center for Coastal Carolina, they're having no issues of getting the ball down the field.
It's all money on Coastal Carolina's offense. Noah Kim, Seneca McKee. They're operating. My favorite play, that old RPO we talked about, right? All these people close to the line of scrimmage, that slant is going to be open all night long. Jacksonville State has not made the adjustments.
The extra point makes it 55-20, Coastal Carolina in full control, and Noah Kim, the accuracy.
I don't like the run. I have the pass there, and that is a nice grab. The coaches highlight his ball skills, and he put them on display right there.
Hard to catch those deflected passes sometimes, and Rich Rodriguez, it's been a long night. Never really was able to get things quite going out the gate. And for Coastal Carolina, there were a lot of questions about this offense. They lost their top quarterback, their two top receivers. They said they had some holes to fill with some guys that had talent but not experience. But it's on full display after this 9-play, 75-yard drive as McKee caps it off with that 9-yard touchdown. What's the takeaway for Jacksonville State? Obviously, there's a lot of football ahead of them. It's a long season. A lot of things can go wrong in the first game of the year, and you finally get a chance to look at the film and correct some things. And where do they go from here?
You got to burn the tape. You got to forget this one pretty quickly. There's not much to learn from. Everything was not good enough. Offense, defense. You got to figure out who your quarterback's going to be. Neither of the quarterbacks that you played well. So you're going back to the drawing board. You're not going to be able to run this offense without a quarterback at the helm of it. So Rich Rod has some work to do.
Back to receive, Michael Petway called a fair catch. Coming up next, join CBS Sports Network in the studio as the Inside College Football crew breaks down tonight's action from the gridiron and beyond. It was a busy Thursday night of football and a lot going on around the country. Keep in mind as well, too, in this game, we've got one of those new rule changes. The 2-minute timeout is looming here closely. The clock will stop, and I think a lot of coaches said, we want this because we need something to signify when the clock stoppage rules change. It felt like it sprung up on us pretty quickly last year.
Yeah, and it provides for better late game strategy and late half strategy, but there's no strategy needed right now in this one.
Huff able to complete it. And finally, you're seeing Huff getting a little bit of momentum going. We saw it in the last couple of drives, and the 93-yard touchdown to Petway. So we'll step away. It's the 2-minute timeout. Jacksonville State trying to orchestrate one more drive, but it is all Coastal Carolina. Ethan Vasco, there was maybe a quarterback controversy coming in. It was silenced tonight.
Not anymore. Ethan Vasco got the nod, and I see why. A bomb to Taylor there. We talked about this slant route. Taylor again. He's got speed to kill. Vasco with the legs and the power. Powers it in there. Anything he wanted was there tonight. Downfield throws. Just throwing dots on the money. Ethan Vasco, smile, buddy. You had a great day. Congratulations. You earned it.
Vasco's numbers, 12 of 19, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Was the MVP of the Hawaii Bowl. We talked about his efficiency last year, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. Huff this time deep down the middle. Nice leaping grab made by Gerard Bowie.
This drive right here is 100% for Huff to see what I can get going next week. Am I going to be the guy? I'm going to give the nod. Can I end this game on the right note?
Catches now for Bowie and some fourth quarter action. Huff scans the pocket. Contested catch made on the outside. Cam Vaughn fighting the traffic.
I'm starting to see the accuracy from Huff. They said he's the better passer, and that was an accurate pass right there.
For Coastal Carolina, they weren't quite sure what they were going to have in live game action, but you walked away very impressed with what they've been able to showcase.
They have a lot of weapons. They have receivers. They have multiple running backs. They have a great O-line, corners on the defensive side. Everyone played well tonight.
Huff, the pitch. It's Trey Stewart racing down the sideline, gets a block from Huff. Stewart into the end zone. I'll tell you what, Tyler Huff not afraid to throw his body around. Pries open a 38-yard touchdown run for Trey Stewart.
Trey Stewart's been the best back for Jack State tonight. I would like to see him play more. And they're able to run a simple speed option. They like the look here, and he options off number 40, and he has some speed and some moves in the open field that is just hard to tackle. Rumble, big man rumble. He's been the spark plug for them tonight. Not a lot of spark, but enough. Trey Stewart.
And that was a critical run because Jacksonville State had rushed for over 100 yards in 24 of the last 25 games underneath Rich Rodriguez. That run right there put them north of 100 yards. The trend continues. Even on a difficult night, Jacksonville State able to generate a couple of big-time plays here in the second half, but too little too late against the Coastal Carolina wave of offense. 4 plays, 75 yards, minute 12 off the clock. And now there's still more questions at quarterback. Logan Smothers was able to play well in the first half. Tyler Huff, though, has really come alive here in the second.
Yeah, I think Tyler Huff settled down. You know, he came from Furman, but he was a Southern Conference Player of the Year, but this isn't the Southern Conference anymore. So it's a step up in competitive, step up in the athletes out there. And, you know, maybe he had to settle down.
Let's check out some Conference USA storylines as we head into the season. Will Liberty win the conference again? They made it to the Fiesta Bowl last year. Huge bid for them. Kennesaw State joins this season. And then a few more teams will be joining next year because Delaware and Missouri State will hop on board in 2025. And then 3 teams with new head coaches: Derek Mason at Middle Tennessee State, Tony Sanchez at New Mexico State, and Scotty Walden at UTEP. And keep in mind, Jacksonville State last year was their first year in FBS. It was the first team to ever make a bowl game in their first year at the FBS level.
Had a great year, and they won a bowl game. Expectations were high this year, right? But there's a change at quarterback, a new quarterback. So I think expectations can still be high. I know it was a bad night tonight, but it's the first game of the year. You still have time in this conference. You're going to have to figure it out pretty soon, though.
So under a minute left, Coastal Carolina, you imagine now, will just take a couple of knees here and close out this game, or a couple of conservative handoffs. And they've got a lot to be pleased with, does Coastal Carolina, with the way that they perform. Noah Kim will step back onto the field to close this out. Offense, defense, special teams, every phase of the game seemed to really click for them tonight.
Coastal Carolina has been, you know, thinking they would miss Grayson McCall, but he wasn't missed tonight. I mean, this offense looked great. These quarterbacks both played well.
Upcoming schedule for Coastal Carolina: home game against William and Mary and Temple on the road, and then home against Virginia. That's the one I'm sure everybody's circling, a chance to take on an ACC opponent on your own home turf.
That'll be a tough test for them, but Tim Beck's going to take it one game at a time. He played coy with us this week. He said, I don't know. I got a lot of new players. I don't know who my quarterback's going to be. I don't really know. Well, we know today everyone can play.
So that'll do it for this one. Coastal Carolina, a dominant 55-27 victory over Jacksonville State, as the teams would meet at midfield to exchange pleasantries. But the Chanticleers came in and right from the start, Logan, dominated. I think it goes back to the line of scrimmage. That's what predicated everything they were able to do offensively.
They set the tone today. They ran the ball when they wanted. They took the shots downfield when they wanted. They had it any way they wanted it. Ethan Vasco, that man right there, had a heck of a day. And Coastal Carolina is going to be going back to the teal turf, surfing high.
552 total yards of offense for Coastal Carolina. Jacksonville State, the offense started to warm up late in this one. They put up 357 total yards. It's Vasco, that was very impressive, 249 yards, 12 of 19. Simpkins, 12 rushes, 80 yards. as they pick up their first victory of the year and really solidified a couple of questions they had on offense. Well, for Logan Ryan, who did excellent in his first game, and our entire crew, I'm Jordan Kent. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We say goodnight from Jacksonville, Alabama. Now we send it to the studio for Inside College Football.